cream tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Today, increase in the sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 50s, north mid 60s south. Chance of seeing a little scattered rain tonight. An overnight low in the upper 30s to low 40s. Sunny skies on Saturday, a high upper 40s to low 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for wine, specialty beers, and liquor. Located at 12100 Highway 71 South in Fort Smith. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. Broadcasting live from the Busch Light Studios. This is the Morning Rush.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin State dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
But they were one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man.
Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
A lot of moving parts as we start halftime here on a Friday morning at 11:01. Hey, everybody, welcome in. This is ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson with Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston producing. A lot going on here. You got basketball tomorrow. Team, I don't know if they ever made it back to Fayetteville or not. Cal had hinted after the win against Ole Miss they may have to stay on the road and fly right to Auburn. We're in the middle of the semifinals of the college football playoff championship. What a game last night. There was a Dave Van Horn press conference that started at 10 o'clock, ended about 20 minutes ago. Women's basketball got smoked by South Carolina yesterday, and the NFL playoffs will start this weekend. Hey, Matt Jones, a heck of a lot going on. And then, of course, I know there were some mighty interesting soccer matches that you were interested in yesterday too. So, man, I'm not quite sure. Well, I do know where to start. It would be the Fiesta Bowl, right?
Yeah, what a game. Well, Liverpool-Arsenal 0-0, so nobody wants to care about that. But Supercopa.
But was it an exciting 0-0?
Your favorite tournament, the Supercopa, Spanish Supercopa. You're going to get a Clásico. It's going to be Real Madrid and Barcelona on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Just what everybody wants, right?
That's it. Man, what a game. I don't know about you, Phil Elson, but, man, that's what you want to see right there. That was going back. I think if there was 17 more seconds on the clock, Ole Miss would have won. It's just one of those deals, man. They were flying around, making plays, figuring each other out, doing their thing. But, man, that's college football at its finest, man. I loved every second of that game last night.
I needed to ask you this because you're a guy who's a wide receiver. You know what it's like. On plays like that. Did you, when you're watching that and all the Ole Miss fans are crying to get a pass interference play, but yet I'm seeing that wide receiver also grabbing the cornerback. What do you see on that last play? I don't think a flag should have been thrown, but I think you would know better.
It would have been atrocious if they would have thrown a flag.
Yeah.
You let them play. There wasn't any. You're both fighting for the ball. It's one of those deals. If they would have thrown a flag, it would have been scripted. No, let the kids play, and I thought for the most part the refs did that.
Well, I wasn't able to watch any of the first half, which I don't think I missed very much in that case. Well, at least because we had Arkansas, South Carolina women's basketball, and that tipped off right at the same moment, or maybe a minute or so off from when the Fiesta Bowl started. So it took care of the basketball game, and it went kind of the way you thought it would go. The very interesting scenario also post game, Matt, because Dawn Staley is as much of a rock star in women's basketball as John Calipari is in men's basketball, and there were a few hundred people that were waiting for her to come out and make some sort of an appearance by the time I'd already packed up the equipment, finished the post-game show, and walking out of Bud Walton Arena. That's rare. Like, I'm usually one of the last people out, and the place can be empty sometimes. There were hundreds of people that just wanted a glimpse of Dawn Staley, which kind of feels a little bit like John Calipari, even when you go on the road. So there was that, and then I get over to the hotel, and when I get into the car, I had our ESPN 99.5 affiliate. They had the Fiesta Bowl broadcast, and I hear the first of the two doinks from Caminero, the Ole Miss kicker. That's on my 2-minute drive back to the hotel, and then I got a chance to watch the rest of it, and I feel like I complain sometimes about not being able to watch these full games, but yeah, I mean, if you got to work or whatever and you can't get your eyes on all of it, watching the second half of that Fiesta Bowl, I think, was just as good as watching the entire thing.
Oh, man. Carson Beck making plays when he had to. The young freshman receiver that reclassified, that's just, catches little slip screen, little tunnel screen.
Isn't that amazing? Guy's supposed to be he should have been like starting to sign up for classes right now. If you're going to reclassify, you would have usually reclassified into just leaving one semester early instead of a full year.
Miami's back. As much as people, you think of that, and one of the reasons I talked about, I think there'll be a couple guys that go head hunting and might get a personal foul or might get ejected. Is think about this.
We're
Phil
right
Elton.
about that.
Well, think about this. Think about being a college kid, and this is why it's so important to bring former players back. It really is. Think about being on that sideline and seeing that group of guys that came and seeing Ray Lewis out there. You don't think you want, like, those kids, they want to go impress him just as much as anybody else because Ray's a legend. Michael Irvin's a legend. Like, go make a play. Running backs playing physical. A lot of that stuff I think helps a little bit, man. In the just the little kind of little burst. Now you can use it the wrong way as well, but man, you want to fly around. When you come over to the sideline after the series, you know what you want. You want Ray Lewis to come over and say, "Hey, that a boy."
Hey, that's how I used to do it. They just weren't going to throw me out of a game for doing it. Yeah, they weren't going to get rid of Ray Lewis. That's for sure. You're right too, man. And if you think of some of the programs in recent years that have played for a national championship, TCU would be top of mind for me. They haven't been able to stay at that level. TCU's, kind of right back where they were before, that magical ride. You do kind of have a sense that Miami would have a chance to stick up at this level. I just wonder if it'll be difficult, to make it through all of these playoffs on an annual basis to necessarily stay, as a repeat national champion.
I don't mean national champion. I just mean
But they're back as a power, absolutely.
The whole change of landscape and the recruiting hotbed and being able to have money and, have the momentum going and being in the ACC, Clemson kind of on the way down. We keep thinking every year, is Clemson going to come back up? We don't know. Dabo maybe has one more year. You think this would be Dabo's last year? Like if they go 7-6 next year,
he's put his eggs in the Chad Morris basket too for if it's that last year. How about that?
That's not a basket I want to be a part of.
That's a basket that I don't know. You ever take basket weaving on a college campus? I never took basket weaving, but you might fail the class, leave a big hole, your eggs start falling through. That might be the Chad Morris basket. Oh man. Well, and then. And what I mean, we got a game tonight too, Matt. I got a more reason to root for Indiana in tonight's other semifinal because Dan Lanning called out dentists And I've got a dad who's a dentist. It's like, what are you doing here? He goes to the hotel last night. This was a quote that I saw coming from David Ubben, who writes college football for The Athletic. Landon cracks me up. Look, I don't really have a thing against the guy. I think he's a great coach, and I appreciate his intensity. But he says how cool it is to arrive with his family at the hotel yesterday preparing for one of the biggest games of his career. He said he told his kids, quote, "If your dad was a dentist, you wouldn't be doing this right now," unquote. Go Indiana! As the proud son of a dentist, of a pediatric dentist and oral surgeon. Screw you, Dan Lanning. What do you got against it? And meanwhile, the entire School of Dentistry at the University of Oregon all of a sudden bought Hoosier jerseys. Oh, this should be a great game too. Yeah.
I sent that to my dad.
I'm already ready to root for. Well, I'm ready to root for it. That's right. Yeah, he's got 2 out of the 3. Matt. I mean, you got a football coach for a father, so how would he look at this?
Well, I got a buddy that's a dentist, so there we go. We can do that.
You do, and he's got kids.
Yeah, just because you sit in a dentist chair doesn't mean you're a dentist. Remember that, guys.
Oh, I had to think about that for a moment. Yeah, my dad got all the real training, but there might have been some back alley surgeries that have been done at one point or another. Then again, would it have counted as surgery when he tied that little string around my tooth and then tied the other end of the string to the door and told me this is probably the best way to get rid of this loose tooth, and then slams the door? You remember that?
I figured he would have gave you I figured he would have tied it around a baseball and gave it to you and said, "Here, let's play catch." And then that way, that would have been the way to go.
Do it to yourself. Here, pull your own tooth out,
throw
kid.
me the ball. Let's see.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I can't even handle that. It's like that movie that I went to see, the Housemaid. Yeah. Spoiler alert. There's a little scene where the guy is forced to yank his tooth out with a wrench.
I saw a video where a bird went inside someone's mouth and pulled their loose tooth out. With their beak.
Listen to the unit coming out of the bullpen with the story that nobody would believe. Oh boy. Well, anyway, I'd be rooting for Indiana nonetheless. I think most folks are rooting for Indiana as I don't really think they're an underdog. They're still a Cinderella program, but no, they're not a Cinderella program anymore. They're on their way to becoming a behemoth. If you don't already look at them in that manner, they're about. So it's like, all right, TCU did not stay at that level from finishing runner-up. To who was it? Georgia, I think that they finished runner-up to. Washington, the same thing. Washington did not stay at that level, and I think maybe that has a little more to do with keeping the coach. But then again, Washington football, while it has been a really good program, national champion in my lifetime, that's not one of those programs you think about. Miami, I grew up in the era where it was the U, and it does look like they're back. I think Indiana, it's not a matter of Indiana being back. Indiana's there, and they ain't going anywhere. So I have trouble looking at them as being the Cinderella, but this is the rise of Cinderella. This is just like before Cinderella actually takes over the kingdom as the queen. So,
and Matt called it. Miami
I don't know how
was hitting, and they were, personal fouls on that last drive. One guy got ejected.
You saw
for
11 come in late. Yeah, there was a couple ones that were iffy. That big tight end that got smashed and then he never played anymore after that. Like they were hitting. That's Phil, you bring this up about stressful pitches, and that's what you play a season, but then think about it. Like the last 4 games have been stressful games. Every you see the guy come and try to hug the Miami coach with like 22 seconds left, and he's like, "Get the F off me. The game's not over." You're like, why are you trying? 100%. Like, don't hug me yet until that whistle sounds. What are you thinking?
I know. I thought they was like, hold on a minute, man. They've got a timeout, and they've. Have you been watching college football, my man? Get away from me.
And if there was 20 more seconds left,
you were right.
If there was 20 more seconds left, Ole Miss could have easily won that game.
Mm-hmm. Well, what if the second dink wouldn't have turned inwards towards
Miami,
into the uprights instead of on the outside?
Miami outthought the room on that one play. It was 3rd down. And you have Carson Beck, and there was a timeout, and then they come back and they throw, and it gets tipped and intercepted. You run the ball right there, and you kick the field goal, and you go up by 2 scores. Like to me, you heard Saban talking at halftime, like, why would you not run the ball? Instead, do you give Ole Miss a chance for the last 40 seconds to kick a field goal and make it a score? Like, That's what I get caught up with a Kendall Briles and a Bobby Petrino and some of these.
It feels programmed in sometimes, doesn't it?
They're trying to outthink the room or be too cute when it's like simple, easy, go ahead and don't make mistakes. That's how you outthink the room. It's not about, because that's the ego. You know, we all have an ego, but that's kind of an ego that comes in like, oh, we can do this to get this. And man, run the football. Let your field goal kicker kick this 32-yard field goal and go up, get more points going into halftime, and you get the ball to start the second half. I thought that was a bonehead play.
Well,
that's Cristobal, right? He always does a bonehead thing every game. Like that's just kind of his MO. That he's going to do one bonehead thing each week.
Well, that's where we'll be kicking that around all throughout the show. Take you up to 2:00 on halftime today, and a few guests will be stopping by as long as the phones are working. I think they are. We'll have Brett Dolan, who wasn't able to join us yesterday, coming on at 1:15. College football, college basketball. There's some baseball stuff to hit on as well. Clay Henry coming on with us 12 noon, and we'll check in with Aaron Torres after the break. Plus, we'll have a Fish City Grill trivia question if I can drum one up in my head at some point today. And the Lewis Automotive Hotline will be open at 877-377-6963. Aaron Torres joining halftime right after this break.
Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Since 1946, no pressure, no hassle, just tradition. The celebration starts now. This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Grant wants to know if it's worth smoking a brisket for Saturday.
The worst brisket ever had was pretty good, and there's never a bad day for that. And at 3 o'clock, that means you could put it on before you go to bed Friday night and be ready.
Is that not a scary thing? Because I know people that leave a crock pot on and various other things.
Well, no, you get up in the middle of the night, you check it. Okay. If I'm cooking a serious brisket, I'm probably not going to sleep well that night.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify 800-606-8254, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Don't care for me. I don't care about that. You gotta do food. I'm the only one a burning desire. Let me stand next to your fire.
Make sure to follow Halftime on X at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Since 1946, no pressure, no hassle, just tradition. The celebration starts now. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we head to our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Man, it has been a minute since we had a chance to talk, or at least since I talked with Aaron Torres. We were not having a lot of shows on Fridays. It's been like 3 weeks. AT, Happy New Year. I don't know, it's been over a week now, but we haven't talked very much. How you doing?
It's been a while. Happy New Year to you guys. Yeah, I think with basically, the 26th and the 1st, I can't remember. All the days run together, but it's been far too long. Lot to catch up on. Excited to talk to you guys. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Last night's college football playoff semifinal was entertaining. I only was able to watch the second half because I had Arkansas, South Carolina basketball, basically the way you thought it would go. Tonight, the Big Ten, man, this is now the preeminent conference in college football, right? They've got a chance for 3 national championships in a row, while the SEC not potentially, 3 years in a row, not even playing for one, man. What does this mean to you?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So obviously, I think that to me is the biggest story coming out of today. I'm actually hosting Fox Sports Radio at 3 Eastern, 2 Central, and we're kind of debating. And I think the last play is certainly a conversation, but I think the conversation is maybe the state of the SEC and the state of college football. And listen, you never really know until the bracket comes out, like how it's all going to play out. And I'm not even necessarily one that felt like there was a team from the SEC that shouldn't have been in. I think based on the criteria that we have, even Alabama off the SEC championship game should be in, on and on. But one thing, Phil, that I will push back on is I think there was this notion all year. Like for years it was just the SEC is the best conference in college football. Then it was, at the top, the Michigans and Ohio States have caught the SEC. But the middle and the bottom, there's just nothing like SEC football. And, respectful to Arkansas, I kind of started this season saying, why aren't we just defaulting to that opinion? Like, there was some dreadful football at the bottom of the SEC this year. And I hate to say it because I know Arkansas was involved, but Florida was objectively terrible. Auburn was objectively terrible. Kentucky was objectively terrible. And so, I don't think that Texas A&M shouldn't have been in the playoff based on their body of work. I don't think that Ole Miss shouldn't have been in the playoff based off their body of work. But, we also have to acknowledge that the bottom of that league was absolutely terrible. Now, I'll be quick here, get it back to you guys. I do think with where the sport is right now, I do think it's a year-to-year proposition where there's no reason that just because Arkansas or Florida or Auburn or whomever was terrible in 25 doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be terrible in 26. But I do think in this particular moment in time, I think there's no doubt that this league, I think, is living on a borrowed reputation borrowed time and a previous world that we live in.
Hey, Aaron, what was your take on last night's Fiesta Bowl? And then who do you have in tonight in the Big Ten? I guess it's not really a championship because Indiana beat Ohio State, but, I mean, for a right to go to the national championship with Indiana and Oregon. Some say best quarterback, best defense left in the game. I don't know. I kind of like that quarterback and some of the explosive players at Oregon. I got Oregon over Indiana. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. So as far, the only other thing I'd add to last night's game, and I think if you want to spin it in a positive direction, and I think this is something, guys, we've talked about with Arkansas football for, 6-8 months now. If Ole Miss is this good, or if Missouri is a 10-win team, there's no reason Arkansas can't be in the conversation going forward. So that's the only other real takeaway from last night is when you have Ole Miss in that position to potentially play for a championship, I think it gives hope to all 16 SEC fan bases that with the right leadership, with the right whatever, they can be in the position that Ole Miss was in last night. Going forward to tonight, Matt, I'll be honest, I disagree with you, but my picks have been terrible this year, so you'll probably end up being right. With Indiana, I'll say this is, I think they're one of the most complete football teams that I've ever seen. I'm not saying they're the best. I'm not saying they're this. I'm not whatever. They're great at everything. Like top 10 offense, top 10 defense, fewest turnovers, most turnovers forced, fewest penalties, and so to beat them, you're going to have to play mistake-free football. I think Dante Moore, he's a little bit I think Oregon as a team is kind of a year ahead of schedule, to be perfectly honest. You go back to that first game that they played in Eugene, Indiana actually kind of dominated it. Oregon's one offensive touchdown kind of came out of broken play. There was a pick six for Oregon, and obviously you want to give them credit for making plays, but really Indiana was really in position for virtually all of that game. So I do like Indiana tonight. Then again, I liked Ole Miss last night. Then again, I liked, whoever, Texas Tech to beat Oregon. So what do I know? But I do think Indiana's the best team. And I was thinking about this morning is I know there's only 3 teams left, but I do think Indiana being an overwhelming favorite, it just kind of speaks to how, or maybe not overwhelming favorite, but I think they are officially in all the sports books, the favorite to win it all. It's just surreal to me as to where we've gotten in college football, but this is where we are, and I do like Indiana tonight.
I won't go over to basketball here because there's these first couple of games in SEC play have just been eye-opening to watch. Darius Acup. He's been fun to watch in non-conference, but man, has he just done anything he's wanted to do in these first couple of games. It feels like, it's appointment viewing in Arkansas because everybody here is a Razorback fan, but it's starting to feel like it's appointment viewing for people who just like to watch good ball and watch potentially the best player in the country, best player in the SEC.
It is incredible. And, we talk about things that I've gotten wrong. Early in the season, I thought he was maybe trying to do too much, force too much, whatever. And, this is the thing about Cal that really makes him unique is I think his greatest gift, he's got a lot of great gifts if we're being perfectly honest, getting guys to buy into something larger than themselves, whatever. But one thing that always has stood out to me, and I can give you examples from his Kentucky days, is he kind of knows who the dudes are, and it's usually, the very highly ranked guy, whatever. But he just, when he, he knows who his best players are, and he just rides with them no matter what, and lets them play through their mistakes in real time. And I'll give you an example. You can go back, but this was many years ago. 2019, Tyler Hero was on the Kentucky team, and I vividly remember about the first month of the season, Tyler Hero was unplayable. He was missing wide open threes, and he was, dribbling the ball off his foot, whatever. And there was real talk of you can't play this guy. He's not good enough. And by the end of the year, he's one of the best players in college basketball, went on to be a lottery pick, whatever. And so I was thinking about that with Darius Acup. Of those first few games, it just felt like he was trying to do too much. And all of a sudden, Cal just keeps putting him out there, keeps putting the ball in his hands, lets him play through mistakes. And now all of a sudden, Phil, you have, and Mac too, it's you have exactly what you just described of, I think he's the best player. I think he's the best player in the SEC. I think, things keep trending the way that they are. It's probably going to be him and Tyler Tanner at Vandy for SEC Player of the Year. Maybe LeBaron Philon's in there, but I just bring it up because it is so incredible to watch the progression, even in just 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever it's been, and where he could be in 6 weeks, 2 months. I said it on my show. I think I even said this before the holiday break. I said, I think by the end of the year, he will be a first-team All-American. And I think Arkansas fans understood what I was saying, but I think there were other fan bases that were like, wow, way to hype up the Calipari guy. And I'm like, no. Watch the games, and I think everybody is seeing exactly what you just said, Phil, that this is a special player that seemingly is getting better every single time he takes the floor.
Well, and you're right on, because that's what he kind of been doing with Malik Thomas this year. He kind of would have struggling, but he just keeps going out there. Hey, I want to change it. Something we talked a little bit on the show yesterday was about the Kentucky Wildcats and Mark Pope and their fan base, and it seems like their attention to what we're doing at Arkansas is just so weird that you don't want the coach, and all of a sudden they're thinking we could have Acuff in a Kentucky uniform this year. How much is Mark Pope fighting against that this year?
Oh, he's fighting against it, and some of it, listen, this is a full 2 hour show. So when you guys need just 2 hours of content on a slow day, you call me and we'll just do a full show on this. But, I'll try to be as quick as I can. Listen, Mark Pope is responsible for the situation they're in. It does not help that NIL numbers, at least where they are public. We know that they paid an astronomical amount for this team. And it's just a poorly constructed team. The pieces don't fit. And I think what's even worse, they don't seem to like each other. When I say like each other, I mean pretty much anybody. And so that's bad enough. But you have Cal very much back in his bag, very much, with a top five-ish type pick, a guard that takes over games, a first-team All-American, as I just said. And it's a perfect storm. And all I would say really quick is that, one, this was always the issue about forcing out a Hall of Fame coach. And one thing I remember saying to you guys last year is, even when Arkansas was struggling, the talent was there where you knew that if Coach Cal could push the right buttons, that they would be back in the conversation by the end of the year, and that's exactly what happened. And that's the gift to Coach Cal. It doesn't matter if he's Memphis, Kentucky, UMass. He's going to have a team, Arkansas certainly, that's good enough to compete at the highest level if they can figure it out. And that's something that, Mark Pope clearly hasn't proven he can do at any level. And then, two, I will say, Pope's been just weird with the media all year. And that's the kind of fan base where, if you give an inch, they're going to take a foot. And I don't even necessarily blame them. Mark Pope knew what he was signing up for. But I think he's seeing now the other side. Last year was the honeymoon, the former player returning. Well, now we're paying you a lot of money, and we're paying your team a lot of money to win games, and you're not doing it. And so I think some of it is unfair to him, but I think a lot of it is justified. And I think there's a lot of people that were taking a lot of shots at a certain coach that's at Arkansas now that really kind of realized how good they had it with the previous guy. And what do the kids say, Phil? I don't have any children. But what do they say? No takesy backsies. I think that's what the term is that the kids use these days. No takesy backsies. Cal is a hog, and I think he'll retire at Bud Walton Arena. And I think obviously Arkansas is happy how it worked out for them.
So then there's the other, takesy backsies. I think has worked for a long time, centuries. But good. So it's like for the Arkansas Ole Miss game. So I think Arkansas's got the best coach in the SEC, but to a degree over certain coaches, and it's only by a little bit of a degree over Chris Beard. I will say I don't think Beard is quite sure what he's got with that Ole Miss team, and I don't think they know who they are. But when it comes to this Auburn matchup, man, I think there's a gulf. And if it was a year ago, there wouldn't have been that gulf. How much do you put Auburn's start on the way that they had the changeover in leadership? And that's independent of whether or not Stephen Pearl may end up being a good head coach.
Yeah, no, it's 100%. Not maybe not 100, but it's a huge percentage. And I understand why Bruce Pearl did it. He wanted his son to get the job. I think that was really the only way to do it. But very clearly, internally, there's some issues. Todd Pettiford's been benched and then unbenched, and nobody really knows what's going on there. But yeah, no, I think that's 100% what it is. And the one thing I will say, I thought the other night was a very good reflection of that, is that it wasn't just the way the game ended. Auburn was in complete control and then kind of forgot how to play basketball. I mean, there was at one point, I didn't watch the entire game minute to minute, but that Texas A&M went on a 31-6 run in the second half, and Texas A&M with Bucky McMillan plays such a unique style that they're going to, if you let them dictate the terms of the game, they're going to make you look bad. And so, obviously, look, it sets up a fascinating situation going into this weekend. I haven't seen the point spread, but I actually saw Auburn was a slight favorite. I think that's a testament to Neville Arena. But, it's an interesting situation there. And I think every time they lose, and they've lost plenty this year, it's set up some very interesting conversations, to your point, Phil, about how the program was handed over from Bruce Pearl to Stephen Pearl.
Yeah, early betting line on Bet Saracen, which is only in the state of Arkansas, has Auburn favored -1.5, -1. Well, both teams -110 on the money line. So it's just about a pick 'em, but 1.5 Auburn. AT, we'll leave it there. Always appreciate you. It's great to get back with you and hear you again. As long as you got the time, we'll keep having you on. Thank you.
Okay. You guys have a great afternoon. We'll be watching this weekend. Go Hogs. We'll talk soon.
Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, Fox Sports Radio, Aaron Torres Media, each Friday, as long as we have a show on halftime. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Yeah, they got an early betting line on Arkansas at Auburn. You won't be able to find those betting lines really anywhere else. Usually you get it to the morning of the game, but today you can see the early betting line. It's Arkansas +1.5. And right now they got Arkansas. The money line has just changed to +100. Arkansas on the money line. Bet Saracen works on your iPhone. Download from the App Store. Your Android users go to Google Play. Got to be within the state of Arkansas to use it. Can also go to betsaracen.com. Back with more halftime after this quick break.
I'm doing this with freshmen. That's what I'm doing.
This is halftime.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tender love and care makes life worth living. Tender love and care, that's what I'll be given. Every day, every night to you.
They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we put it inside burritos and tacos anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell, a brand new classic.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
Football playoffs are here, and MyBookie is where you turn bets into bankroll. Everybody's betting. The NFL is in full do-or-die mode, college football down to the last teams, and the Super Bowl is just around the corner. If there was ever a time to get in the game, it's right now, and MyBookie makes it stupid easy to play. One account, one wallet, bet the spread, live bet the second half, hit the casino during commercials. It's all in one place, and you've got the power. Go to MyBookie.ag now, use promo code HOGS, and get your first bet covered up to $500. If it doesn't hit, use your Get Back bonus token and run it back. Don't just watch the playoffs, make them pay. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Only at MyBookie.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. You yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Tells me I shouldn't bother, that I always should stick to another man, a man that surely deserves me, but I think I do.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Since 1946, no pressure, no hassle, just tradition. The celebration starts now. Now let's get back to Halftime with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Arkansas football legend Matt Jones.
I really was taken aback a little bit by the crowd that had gathered over at Bud Walton inside the building right by the tunnel and waited for Dawn Staley to come out. And this is 45 minutes after the game's complete. I do about a 20-minute post-game show, so they were still waiting another 20 to 25 minutes afterwards. And you know I know I brought it up yesterday, Matt, but I'm kind of in awe of South Carolina women's basketball, because if you're the Dawn took that program from the dregs of the SEC and over the course of the last 15 years has built, I don't know if I'd say the preeminent, because UConn is still there, but they play UConn, I think, every season now, or just about, and they just stay at an incredibly high level. And it felt at times yesterday, that they were just very... the word would be methodical. That's one of my favorite football terms, but I felt like that yesterday watching them win 93-58 over the Razorbacks, and yet sometimes it didn't necessarily even feel like they broke that much of a sweat. And that's not an indictment of Arkansas. That's really how good South Carolina is. Sometimes how some athletes make things look effortless. There were moments yesterday where as a team they made things look a little bit effortless.
Yeah, well, it's pretty. I guess I agree with you. You put it in line with what Army Gino was doing up there with UConn. I mean, she's got them going. They're being consistent each year. It's like what you say as far as talking about the Arkansas Razorback baseball team. Well, is DVH the head coach? It's like, right. Well, is Dawn the head coach? They're probably going to still be pretty good. And the truth is, their backups, their second five. They could be in the tournament as well.
Oh, Matt, there was a year, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, when they won a national championship with a second five that probably could have won a national championship, and then did basically 2 years later. I don't know if I'd put this Carolina team in that category, but that's the kind of program they have.
Who's the top 4 teams? Who's getting the 4 buys in women's basketball this year? South Carolina. Who would be the other 3 teams you think?
Texas is blowing them out. Yeah, Texas is blown. There were some scores yesterday that is indicative that you don't see these scores in men's basketball very often, but you will see them in women's basketball. You know, just some of the ugly blowout scores. Texas beat Auburn 97-36. I just want to give really ugly scores now so I can hear Simone in the background. 27-5 was the score at the end of the first quarter. It was 48-17 at halftime. I mean, that's
Texas
kinda
women
gross.
basketball is pretty much on South Carolina's level now. They're
well,
pretty good.
but they had I think it was they lost to South Carolina last year in the Final Four. So yeah, those are the two top programs in this league. Kentucky was trying to get to that level. They lost at Alabama yesterday. Vanderbilt is kind of creeping up to that level sometime soon. They're in front of LSU right now. So I'd say it'd be Carolina, Texas, and then probably right now Vanderbilt. And then, you know, you're wondering if if number 4 would be either Oklahoma, maybe Tennessee. You know, they've got a few losses, but it's been against high-level teams. Ole Miss is trying to break through, so I'd say it's the top 3. Yep. LSU lost their first 2 league games.
Wow.
Yeah, before beating Georgia yesterday, 80-59. So, but I think they're still an incredibly talented team. They were scoring, I think they scored 100 or more points for their first 9 games. So maybe LSU would still be there. It's like, so you look at LSU being 1-2 in women's basketball, and I do get where it's like, don't worry about that program. They're going to be fine. You look at Kentucky, right? You look at Kentucky men's basketball, 0-2 right now.
I think they get South Carolina next, though, so maybe they're 1-2. But
I don't look at them and think they're about to be fine. That does look like a team that just doesn't. They don't like each other's stupid faces, Matt.
That's when I heard Aaron say that, I haven't seen Kentucky play yet this year, but it kind of. You're just like, oh man, because you don't. It's so hard to make sure you get the right in a right group of guys, and in a basketball locker room, Phil, it only takes one bad apple
because it's a small locker room. Right?
Yeah, if one of your better players isn't really invested and bought in, or kind of a sour, it could bring down the whole group. And that's the one thing I like about this Arkansas team. Watching them, they seem to be unselfish and seem to care about their brother, and that's why when you watch them play defense, they're making up for whoever else. What can I do to help? And a guy like DJ Wagner, that guy could be on 95% of college basketball teams and could be averaging 20 points.
He'd be a featured scorer.
And he's one of our best defensive players.
Yeah, and you want to talk about, like, if you could go to a year ago. Just 365 days ago, and if it's Arkansas against Auburn, you'd be, wow, look at this matchup. Not just the programs, but the coaches, and how, you know, they both kind of cancel each other out in terms of the level of program that they've built. Do you feel anything like that now with Stephen Pearl coaching Auburn? No, not at all.
I don't feel the same physicality and toughness is there right now that they had. I mean, they were a great defensive team under Bruce Pearl for the most part. I mean, they beat Arkansas last year, and Arkansas made it to the Sweet 16, and Auburn made it to the Final Four, didn't they?
Yeah, and they end up, blowing a 15-point home lead. That's the thing to look at. It's not really the idea that maybe, and I do think Auburn got screwed over by that call of the three-pointer that didn't count, but they did blow a 15-point lead in the second half at home. Doesn't that say a little bit more?
They somehow only lost to Houston by 1 this year, which is crazy to me.
Well, I mean, it is a team that's talented, but when did that game occur? That was the 4th game of the season. They feel a little bit differently about themselves right now, I might think. Anyway, we've got a break here in halftime. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. Our phone number is the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Calls and texts, 877-377-6963. Clay Henry joins top of the hour, and we're back after this.
You haven't been shooting the ball good, so get in the gym more.
This is halftime.
Winter has arrived, bringing frothy mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
A new year is here, and Gelco Outdoors is ready to help you with a new pair of comfortable casual work or safety shoes and boots. The largest selection of footwear in the River Valley. Start the new year off in comfort. Warm winter clothing in stock to keep old man winter at bay. Cheers to you, and Happy New Year from your locally owned Gelco Outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Allen Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, they would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24th, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
The holidays are over and it's time to organize your storage. Ace has always been the helpful place, and right now we're even more helpful by helping you organize all of your storage spaces. Right now, get great deals on storage solutions at Metters Lumber Ace Hardware, like 27-gallon heavy-duty storage totes for only $8.99, Sterilite latching storage totes for only $6.99, or select shelving units for only $79.99. Now through the end of the month, only at Metters Lumber Ace Hardware in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville. Ace, the helpful place.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Matt and I just kicking around the idea of Miami playing in their home stadium for the national championship. When's the last time this happened in college football?
That will be the only time that stadium is ever full. Well, I mean, Miami games, if you've ever watched Miami get home games, even when they're pretty good, they never fill that stadium out.
I saw photos from even from the Fiesta Bowl yesterday. The upper deck wasn't completely full, but then, I mean, you got You get two teams that are from nowhere near Arizona that already had to make a trip the week before. But, yeah, I mean, you had mentioned it, Matt. It was the Orange Bowl. Remember Vinny Testaverde's team against Joe Pa's Penn State Nittany Lions? The punter for Penn State, I think, really was the MVP of that game. That was at the Orange Bowl. And that was – no, was that at the Orange Bowl? That was the Fiesta Bowl. That was in Phoenix. That wasn't in Miami.
Yeah,
I don't know if this ever happened before. I can't think of one.
The Rams, didn't the Rams just win their Super Bowl in their home stadium? It seems like it's happened before.
I mean, it could even happen this year. It's in Santa Clara. The 49ers, I think, have a halfway decent chance of making it out of the NFC. It could happen annually in the NFL. It can't happen annually in college football. There's just not enough. You don't have these big – I mean, the Rose Bowl. But UCLA is not playing for a national championship anytime soon. And didn't UCLA just say they're playing their home games in SoFi? I don't think the Bruins will be playing home games in the Rose Bowl anymore, so that wouldn't even count. I don't think the Rose Bowl has a full-time college football tenant anymore, except for the Rose Bowl Classic football game, sponsored by whomever. Otherwise, like Georgia, playing in Mercedes-Benz Stadium wouldn't count. Playing in New Orleans doesn't count unless, well, Tulane doesn't use that as their stadium. This is a different thing. This is new. This is unique. 877-377-6963. Calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Yeah. Has a team actually ever played in their own home stadium?
You've only had
college football national title.
You've only had 7 win it in their home state. No. So your answer to your question is no. It's never happened, and only 7 college teams have actually won the national title. And LSU's the one I brought up in New Orleans. But yeah, crazy.
And yet I have an understanding that if this was next year, the memorandum of understanding, and if I remember all of the details about it, Notre Dame would have gotten the selection into the playoff over Miami. Am I right about this?
Well, would Tulane and James Madison both made it, though?
They would have still made it as the highest-ranked conference champions.
Wow.
Two of the 5 highest. Once Duke won the ACC, then those 2 conference champions were the highest-ranked conference champions. And then Notre Dame. I think the understanding with the committee now moving forward is if Notre Dame is in the top 12, they're in, which would have left out number 10, left out Miami. It's one of my themes, Matt, and it is the truth. We never know how
LSU's done it twice.
A real national title.
So as far as teams to win it, LSU's done it twice. Both of them in the Superdome in New Orleans. Florida did it once in Miami over Oklahoma, and LSU's done it 3 times. They beat Clemson as well. So that's it. Florida and LSU are the only teams to win a national championship in their own home state.
Well, the winner of tonight's game is going to win the national title, so I don't think it's going to happen this year, but just to play in your home stadium. And I'll give Miami a fighter's chance against anybody right now just because of who they have beaten already. Clay Henry joining halftime right after the break. Stay with us today. We'll be right back.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Dental emergencies do not wait, and neither should you. At Valley Urgent Dental, they're here for you on the weekends, whether it's a broken tooth, a painful infection, or a crown that's come loose. Dr. Kendall Roberts and Dr. Doug Terry are ready to help. Why wait till Monday? Call 479-235-5655 now. Valley Urgent Dental is located at 5505 Uper Lane behind Golden Corral in Fort Smith. Valley Urgent Dental, emergency dental care when you need it most.
2026 is looking bright at Rath Auto Resources. Celebrate by driving away in one of our road-ready certified pre-owned cars, reconditioned and backed by a comprehensive warranty. With our award-winning customer service, non-commissioned sales team, and painless pricing, we take the hassle out of the car buying experience, so you can focus on more important things, like that new gym membership, quitting smoking, or that other thing. Ring in the new year with a new ride and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
Here's NASCAR Hall of Famer Mark Martin.
As a race car driver for 40 years, I survived a lot of crashes. Not everyone can run into a wall at 200 miles an hour and walk away. Without a seatbelt, I wouldn't be alive today. Now I'm retired, back home in Arkansas driving my pickup. I'm shocked how many people aren't wearing seatbelts. Why risk your life when it only takes 2 seconds to buckle up? Take it from number 6. Buckle up, Arkansas.
A message from the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
Harry Douglas here, and the holidays are rolling in, and if men in your life are struggling with their holiday wish list, tell them to add Manscaped to make gift giving easy and completely stress-free this year. From the beard hedger to the lawnmower trimmer, Manscaped's precision tools keep you looking sharp, feeling confident, and ready for every event and celebration. Right now at Target, get 20% off on the Handyman Shaver, Beard Hedger, and the Chairman Plus Essentials Kit, a must-have for a smooth face shave. Hurry up, though. Offer ends December 27th.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Today, increase in the sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 50s north, mid 60s south. Chance of seeing a little scattered rain tonight. An overnight low in the upper 30s to low 40s. Sunny skies on Saturday, a high upper 40s to low 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for wine, specialty beers, and liquor, located at 12100 Highway 71 South in Fort Smith. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
12:01 in the afternoon on the last day of your week. This is ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. As halftime continues, Phil Elson here along with Matt Jones. The Hall of Famer, Emmy Award winner Clay Henry joining us in just a moment. And, of course, Christian Johnston is producing. Still see a lot of Ole Miss fans and Twitter folks trying to claim pass interference on that last Hail Mary by Trinidad Chambliss there, Matt. Oh, man. And I can't go with any opinion other than somebody that knows what it's like to try to make one of these plays at the very end. I see pushing going on both ways, man.
Don't be blatant about it. Go for the ball. You know, make sure your eye. That's the whole thing. Are you making a play on the ball? If you're grabbing him because you got beat because he's behind you, the refs are going to throw the flag. But I think that you for the most part, you want the players to decide the game. And the other thing is, if it would have been a foul, then you'd have no problem with them throwing a flag. But I thought they were just two competitors out there competing.
Am I allowed to slow the play down to frame by frame, and you can see the defensive back's left hand on the wide receiver's collar? His right hand is on the other side of his jersey. He's definitely got two handfuls of jersey, and then starts to pull the receiver down once they get near the goal line, and the defensive back tries to leap for the football. So, I mean, you watch this happening in real time, but I mean, you could probably make it, like you're saying, you can make a case either way.
Hey, you saw that the play before that, Miami had 3 safeties on the goal line, and that play leaded up to it, and I knew it. I mean, I didn't know, but I thought I knew where he was going to go with the ball. You saw the 2 safeties on the goal line on the right side of the field, so you knew that's where he was going. Like, I was like, oh, he's going to throw it down at the bottom of the screen, and that's where he threw it. Man, if there was 40 seconds left to go, Ole Miss probably wins that game. I think everybody that thinks Arkansas would have beat Ole Miss until the fumble, they were thinking Ole Miss was going to win that game if there was another 28 seconds on the clock.
Clay, what do you think when you watch that? Now, I only got to watch the second half because I had Arkansas, South Carolina women's basketball. I got to watch the half that mattered. But when I was watching it, I thought, you're not going to throw a flag here. When I watch it on instant replay and frame by frame, again, I can make a case either way, but it's not how the game's officiated.
Yeah, when you see them running even step for step, just like Matt said, and the receiver is reaching out. He's got his hands. I mean, they're this is a soccer term, but it's like when they swing the balls into the box and there's like 12 guys there, they all got their hands on each other.
There's going to be contact, yeah.
And they're I mean, I'm talking about in soccer, they're trying to find their personal space is what the coaches always says. Find your personal space. Well, that means knock the crap out of the guy next to you, and now you got personal space. And they were battling for personal space going down the field. And the officials do not, once they see that they're going back and forth, even if the defender ends up grabbing something, they're going to like, okay, it's hand-to-hand combat, we're going to let it go. And if I was an Ole Miss fan, and I'm sure not, I would be crying. If I was a Miami fan, I would be saying, good call. The guy they had in the booth, is it Bill LeMonnier? Is that how you say it? I mean, he went right away. This is 2 guys battling for personal space, that kind of deal. That may not be his direct quote, but it was in that realm. Hand-to-hand combat, that kind of a deal. And it's the way of the world. Pass interference in those critical moments. I would prefer to let them play it out like they did.
How about Beck on that last drive? I hadn't even thought about it until it was mentioned by, I forget who the play-by-play man was, that up until I think it was in the entire second half or maybe just the fourth quarter, hadn't completed a forward pass past the line of scrimmage. You're letting the receivers make the plays. Of course, that freshman Tony made that amazing play. But how about back on that last drive where he has to convert a couple of third downs, real accuracy, and then, man, he could have done cart flips into the end zone with all the room he had on the left side. So, look, I mean, I've seen some folks look at it and say, well, this is a redemption story, a redemption arc of sorts, and I guess you can make that case. You can make that case. Beck was the backup for a couple of national champions, and then, and nobody thinks about Stetson Bennett in the NFL and as a pro prospect. Last year, Beck was going to be front runner for the Heisman Trophy, first overall pick, and ends up, didn't work out for him. He had himself a decent season, gets injured. I thought Georgia looked better without him when they played in the playoff and in the SEC championship game, and now Georgia's out. And he's playing for a national championship, and it's not just because of that defense either, but it's a lot because of him.
He makes plays like an old head. I mean, that's what he is. 41 starts.
Yeah,
that's what he's got.
23 years old. Matt, you were 2 years into the NFL when Carson Beck is finishing his college career.
What was the stat? Was it him and Drake May and Jaden Daniels and some of these guys that are in the NFL now? They're kind of the same class. Yeah, I mean, it's a great time to be a college athlete, but he's seen – he's seen it all. He kind of knows what to do with it, and I don't really think, honestly, he might have had the interception wasn't his fault. I thought it was a bad play call. I thought late in the first half, you run the ball, take your points, don't give them a chance to get more points. But he didn't force a lot. You didn't see Carson Beck force it. Both those quarterbacks played a great game. I don't think the game was lost because those quarterbacks made mistakes. I thought both quarterbacks played really well.
So early in the season, I was critical of the play calling for Miami. I thought they weren't taking chances. They weren't throwing the ball down the field, and they had this great young wide receiver, Tony. It's like, okay, now I get it. They knew what they had on defense. don't beat yourself. And over this last few games, when you've seen Miami, it's check it down, check it down, check it down. And his head moves side to side. He'll check the right, he'll check the left. And he did throw it down the field in the first half, a great play where he looked to the right and then the receiver broke free to the left and he found him. And he made a perfect throw. When you keep your team from losing the game because of you, quarterback play. And, I mean, just take care of the ball. It's the most precious thing you have. Have you heard that phrase before, Matt? It's the most precious thing.
One of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Seemed to be something that we hit on quite a bit over the last 2 football seasons. Just talking about Arkansas football.
No question. Yeah. And it's, but maybe you don't have a defense you can rely on. Maybe you have to take some more chances if you're Arkansas. But they didn't protect the ball, the most precious thing that you can have.
Guys, Bo brought this up, I heard yesterday. Speak for today's game. I'll give Bo Mattingly credit for this one. Indiana has lost 1 fumble, and it was the first game of the year. Think about that. 1 fumble. We just made fun of the New York Jets for going through an entire NFL season, 17 games too, not 16, not 14, with 0 interceptions defensively. How about Indiana football? 1 fumble all season long. It was their first game, and they're about to play what they played, 12, 13, but this is their 15th game.
How about this one? Bill Burnett, who's the all-time leading touchdown man. I think he's got 46. He never fumbled. How about that? 3 years, 500 and something carries, and he's scoring touchdowns. He's going over the top, contact, like at the highest point. And he's, coming flying through there, for 1 yard runs over and over and over the top. Never fumbled in the glory years for Arkansas football. When I watch Indiana play, I am so reminded of the way Frank Broyles, great coaches, and you look at his staff, and they prepared their team where they were technically perfect, played their technique, and that's what I see with Indiana. It reminded me a little bit about what I used to see when I take the time to watch Iowa under Kirk Ferentz, their defensive play. But Indiana does it on both sides. Perfect technique.
I think of Cignetti, and I think of that program as that could work at any era of football. That personality, that style of play. You can't think that way about every coach. Even some of the really great coaches right now in college. They would not have worked 50, 60 years ago. It's a different message that they deliver. Just listen to the way even that, we got into yesterday with Mark Pope and all of that. I feel like the way Cignetti talks and the style of play that you see from the Hoosiers, that could have worked in the 30s, that could have worked in the 70s, the 90s, and it's working right now, and it will work right now.
So anytime, and I know we've had this conversation on this show. It might have been a little while back, and I hear the people say, Arkansas is doomed. They're stuck. They'll never be relevant again. And it just frustrated me because I see it in every sport that they can be good with the right coach. And there's nothing that will keep Arkansas football from being good again with the right coach. And the right coach will mean that they have the right funding, because that's what happened. That's what happened at Indiana. They weren't funding football, but all at once they realized what they had, and they jumped on the bandwagon. I saw it at the University of Tulsa with women's golf. All at once they just kind of lucked into Nancy Lopez. That's all they had. But Nancy Lopez was a Hall of Famer. All at once they're relevant, and the funding just fell in their lap for women's golf. So now it may not take as much to fund, one of those type sports, but you can do it in Arkansas. And I think when you watch Indiana, that should give you confidence that you can do it.
877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. You get the Razorbacks and the Auburn Tigers getting on the basketball court tomorrow. It is a 4 o'clock tip-off, and you can watch it over at Joe's Grilling Cantina. If you're wearing your Razorback gear during the game, you'll get half-price apps. and cheap taps. Of course, there's complimentary chips and homemade salsa, fresh made from scratch, daily Mexican-inspired specials, and happy hour deals from 3 to 6. That's Joe's Grilling Cantina. That's the place to watch Arkansas games and enjoy happy hour. They're at 74th Street across from Harps and Fort Smith, and online at joesfortsmith.com. Back in just a moment. This is Halftime.
Call or text 87737. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tender love and care makes a life worth living. Tender love and care, that's what I'll be given. Every day, every night to you.
They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we put it inside burritos and tacos anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell, a brand new classic.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
Football playoffs are here, and MyBookie is where you turn bets into bankroll. Everybody's betting. The NFL is in full do-or-die mode, college football down to the last teams, and the Super Bowl is just around the corner. If there was ever a time to get in the game, it's right now, and MyBookie makes it stupid easy to play. One account, one wallet. Bet the spread, the live bet the second half, hit the casino during commercials. It's all in one place, and you've got the power. Go to MyBookie.ag now, use promo code HOGS, and get your first bet covered up to $500. If it doesn't hit, use your Get Back bonus token and run it back. Don't just watch the playoffs, make them pay. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Only at MyBookie.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. You yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
stop there now. We've got nothing to lose and only one way up. I'm burning bridges that destroy the mirage. Oh, this is the collision. For years, it's all smooth and safe. Stitches and scars. Got my own same place wherever I am.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Since 1946, no pressure, no hassle, just tradition. The celebration starts now. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I didn't realize it was going to be this, but we had a Fish City Grill trivia question today. Tell me the last two teams to play for a national championship in their home stadium. And Chris in Springdale has done the research for us here. Matt and Clay. Then, of course, it is Miami twice. I think the only other program that could have ever played for a national championship in their home stadium would be UCLA, playing in the Rose Bowl. That's it. Otherwise, you can't say the Cotton Bowl because Clay, did anybody use the Cotton Bowl as their home stadium?
There was a period where SMU did. And then they went to Texas Stadium in Irving.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they played there. And I don't remember if they had the national championship game there, but potentially, that's an NFL stadium. Yep. No, I can't think of anybody else that could have potentially done that. If you'd had an NFL type stadium that a college team was using, because that would be what they were that's what they're looking for, right?
Yeah. So Chris found it was the 1984 Orange Bowl that caps the 83 season. Miami was 5th ranked, beat number 1 Nebraska 31-30 to win the national championship. Now you'd look at that and say, well, yes, the winner of this game is probably going to be the national champion. You just never really knew that going into that because, well, it was still up to the voters instead of the final score of a football game. And then the 91 season also concluded with Miami beating Nebraska again in the Orange Bowl, 22-0. To cap off a 12-0 season. Nebraska was ranked 11th that year, so you could make a case that this is Miami, playing for a national title, even though it wasn't called a national championship game. So well done, Chris in Springdale. You want to send him a $25 gift card for Fish City Grill in Rogers? I don't know if he's won that thing before, but that's a pretty good one right there, because it happens in the NFL. Every year, baseball, basketball, hockey, but it's a Miami didn't get a home game. They didn't get a home game in the first round. They had to travel to College Station, and they end up getting a home game in the championship. Nice.
Well, one of our thoughts ended up coming true. They got a targeting call. I thought that they probably should have gotten a targeting call in one of their other 2 playoff games. They didn't.
That was on the day after the previous game.
Yeah, they called it last night, and I thought it was a good call. But their defensive backs do a nice job of getting low and underneath the pads when they do those vicious hits. That's not targeting unless it's a defenseless player. But it seems to me that in these games that they're really careful with targeting. I mean, it's got to be a pretty tight case. It's not I think there's been some relaxing of that targeting the way they interpret it. It's a little.
They're going to be down one of their defensive backs for that championship game,
right?
At least in the first half.
Yeah, I think is it Lucas? Yeah, I thought there were some others that they could have called in a different game, but they got it right last night.
Hey, what about the game tonight a little bit? I know we still have half a show, but when you're thinking about Oregon, Indiana, and we talk about styles make fights, and it's a rematch, I seem to be in the minority. I got Oregon. I had Miami over Ole Miss yesterday. I got Oregon in the rematch. Well, what's your kind of thoughts leading up to this game, Clay?
Well, I think there'll be more points scored than say that, the Ohio State Indiana game, and then I think that they will score on Oregon's defense, but I think Oregon's going to score on a little better at Indiana. But I got Indiana. I just think that they're the team this year, and I was really kind of surprised. Usually after someone's won the Heisman and they come back and they've done the banquet circuit, they've done all the interviews, they've done everything, they don't play as well. But it seems like Mendoza's playing better.
Well, I guess Oregon looked really good against Texas Tech. That's one of the games I couldn't watch because I was in the middle of a game myself. But I mean, it felt like Indiana barely broke a sweat in taking down Alabama, just barely at all.
Never had a chance, huh? You never thought after the first quarter, nobody thought, you know what, Alabama has a chance to win this game. Yeah,
felt inevitable from really after the first series.
Yeah, and it's hard to beat a good team twice, and we'll see if the Indiana can do that. But that's probably one of the tightest games that they played. So I know Oregon has the ability. They've got. I sent you a graphic yesterday, Phil, after the show. I'm sorry that I didn't find this beforehand, but it's like you look at the difference in the ratings. The star
like
system,
5 stars, and Indiana has 0. Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah.
And in 4 stars, it's like 40-3 or something like that. I mean, it's like Indiana is playing with the 3-star. Now, I look at their talent, and those wide receivers, they're going to go high. I mean, they're going to be drafted, and they're not 3 stars anymore. The one that beat Penn State with the toe tap at the end, that guy's been measured at over 22 miles per hour. I mean, he's got Matt Jones jets, tall, long.
Yeah, I like that number 21, that outside linebacker. They got a couple guys on defense too, and one of the things, I think it was Tuesday we were talking, Clay, and Phil and I were talking about watching that Indiana-Alabama game, and you would see a play being made, and you saw a red jersey, and you were like, oh, that's Alabama. No, that was Indiana.
That was Indiana. Yeah. I mean, their open field tackling is supreme. I mean, it's just you think, well, that guy's set up. If he misses it, it's a one-on-one play. The guy's going to go for 20 or a touchdown, and it's a 2-yard loss. Perfect tackle by the corners and safeties.
Let me ask you this. And I'm looking at this graphic you sent us yesterday, Clay, about 5 stars or lack of 5 stars and really lack of 4 stars, too, compared to the other teams in this Final Four. And so to bring up tackling, and you think of how fundamental that is in the sport. It probably is the most fundamental aspect of at least playing defense, is finding a way to get the man to the ground. How much of that is talent? How much of that is developing and coaching? Because if you got a bunch of guys that are 0, that are not 5 stars, not 4 stars, but they're good at doing that number one thing that you have to do in order to win a football game, doesn't that say something? Now, I don't know what these stars necessarily are. Is this when they came in as freshmen? Is this when they jumped into the portal that their star rating changes and they're looked at again? Because it seems to me that if you got a team that just might not be the most talented, but they're really good at tackling, you got to put that on coaching. You got to put that on development, and also getting the right kind of player into your program.
Yeah. So his background is Saban. Same kind of deal. You just didn't see Alabama in their glory miss tackles. Now, I saw missed tackles against Indiana, and a lot of missed tackles one-on-one where they didn't get the guy to the ground. And so you can't say that's a lack of talent, because those Alabama players are highly rated, highly regarded, really talented. So that's got to be coaching. And it's got to be accountability. It's got to be technique, and it's what you emphasize as a head coach is what you get. I promise you, you can have a good tackling team, and you can't be no talents, and they look like they have speed. So their strength and conditioning program is perfect. Their practice preparation is perfect. The 3 Ps, and why is Iowa playing perfect defense too? And it's Kirk Ferentz. I mean, it's the common denominator. It's the head coach. What they might structure some practice that, where they're going to get some scrimmage time for their first team defense. If you see a bad tackling team, it's because they hadn't worked on it.
Sounds about right. That all hits 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Again, congrats to Chris in Springdale for the correct answer, for doing all the research himself. Miami, the only other program that has played for a national championship at home. Then again, when you look at the previous iterations of how they figured out college championships, before the bowls they would vote. So, I mean, who even knows how to look at this? Fish City Grill, chalkboard specials this month. Seared scallop tacos topped with bacon, kale, and chipotle avocado tartar creme. Seared cod served over creamy coconut milk orzo with a hint of chili garlic oil. Or crispy chicken Milanese with lemon aioli. Bright comfort at its best. Fish City Grill on South Bellevue Road in Rogers. Online, fishcitygrill.com. Friendly folks, serious seafood. Back in a moment. This is halftime.
And they didn't give it to him. He didn't get rid of it in time. No way. And Texas A&M wins.
This is halftime.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
You know, the one thing about being here at Arkansas, it's always been about being tough and physical and hard-nosed.
This is halftime.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Doe's Eat Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Doe's Eat Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
You're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Since 1946, no pressure, no hassle, just tradition. The celebration starts now. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry with us, too, here on a Friday. We'll be talking with Brett Dolan at 1:15 because, well, we're making up from yesterday when he couldn't join us because the phones weren't working. Let's see here. Transfer portal stuff for football. Oklahoma State has the most commits, 33. Iowa State has 32 commits. And then there's Arkansas. Along with Penn State, 27 commits on the 24/7 sports portal board right now. The latest announcement is Terrence Robertson Jr., who played offensive line at Ouachita, 6'6", 295. He's from Warren. You also got an announcement that Donovan Faupel, a wide receiver who played at New Mexico State. Here's Josiah Clemens, offensive lineman out of Memphis, 6'7", 370, from Clinton, Mississippi. 27 players, guys. We have so a lot. I guess there's going to be a lot to read about over the weekend for some of these players.
It ain't over.
Well, of course it's not. Not over until next Friday. Jeremiah asks, which of the new transfers, one on offense, one on defense, that excites you the most so far? Jeremiah, my head is on such a swivel right now, I wouldn't know how to answer that question. I do like the idea of the quarterback they got from Memphis coming in, Hill, although I don't know if he's going to play much this year. Defensively, I'm just happy that they're remaking the defense completely. We'll put it that way.
Oh, it's being remade. And I suspect that, those are where the gains have been made the most. But I like what I see with the offensive line. And I haven't seen maybe one or two players that have left that I thought, oh, they lost something. Basically, the guys that they've left, they didn't shine in SEC play. Didn't make me feel like that they were SEC players. And the guy that they've lost on defense to me that I wish they had back in this isn't a portal transfer. He's just done. Julian Neal, I thought, was competed, and it seemed like the ball went to the other side a lot, not towards him. And he's playing in the East-West Shrine game, which tells you that, the NFL scouts that put together those rosters, that they like him. So he has a chance to play some more football. He's the only one on this Arkansas team.
That was number 23, right?
Yep.
He can play on Sunday. The thing that we were just talking about, I think it was the last segment, the one thing that I liked about him was he didn't miss a lot of tackles.
He did his job. Yep. And consistently was there in coverage and, wasn't trailing the play. If you're not trailing the play, you have a chance to compete for the ball, knock it loose, make a play, get your hands on it. And he did that. That's what I see with all these teams that are playing right now is that their defensive backs are in a little tighter coverage than what we saw last year, except for Julian Neal.
Singletary's in the portal too. That was one coming out of Georgia I thought was going to, I didn't know enough about him. Coming from Georgia, thinking, well, here's somebody that, can make an impact on you. Lost a starting job this last year in the portal now, and I'll be interested to see where it is he lands. So I didn't like losing a Marion Harris, Little Rock guys, some experience starting on what I thought for the most part was a good offensive line, signed at Oklahoma. So, it's like losing Satania over there, losing all the guys you've lost to Ole Miss. You see Braxton yesterday, and it did look like Miami was going after him. Did I see Starzyk signed with LSU, the former kicker? Lane Kiffin's got a thing for Razorbacks. I don't know
good players is what
Yeah, that's right. I did like Starzyk.
Something we had talked about, I don't know, 6 months ago. I said, man, that's a guy you'd want to keep on your team. But
me too. Yeah, I'd say the same thing. But he didn't have a great year. Like the rest of them, I mean, he could have done a little better. He missed some big kicks, and it seemed to me that the coaches lost a little confidence. That they didn't go for the field goal because they weren't confident in him on some situations that I was like, man, I think I might kick that, get the points, and I think Bobby was under the impression that they were going to give up touchdowns, so they better score touchdowns. And sometimes you got to take 3 points. They got Tennessee's kicker. It's the word was that Starzyk said he was coming back. Maybe he didn't sign his letter, but he told the coach he was coming back. And then the Arkansas coaches heard from another school, "Hey, your kicker is out. He's getting shopped." Now, may not be in the portal, but he's getting shopped by his agent, and so that they went and got Tennessee's kicker, and at that point, then he does go into the portal.
They'll find out about that. Absolutely,
exactly. Yeah, it's because those coaches are buddies, and it's like, hey, you're about to lose your kicker, huh?
Well, the quarterback at UW had a change of heart as well.
Wow, yeah, that's a wow. But it's where we're at now. I mean, surely, that he's gonna be sued if he signed something. That you signed a contract, maybe they look at it as like, well, he didn't get any money yet. He didn't take the money.
Matt, didn't you bring up? You was like, what about the agent who's giving this kid advice? Well, the agent fired the kid yesterday, and then he ends up taking his name out of the portal.
Wow.
Yeah, the agent said, we've had differing philosophies on how to handle this.
Does he still get paid on that $4.5 million that Washington's giving him, though?
Well, maybe if he was the one who negotiated the contract, he probably does. Yeah.
I don't know too many agents that don't get paid.
I mean, the whole reason for being an agent.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the NFL agents, a lot of those guys are also lawyers. So it's like, man, you don't want to tread softly with those guys. They know how to file a lawsuit.
One of the things I saw, and Clay, you might have saw this, was so an NFL agent, you get 1%, 2%, 3%. I've seen some of these NIL deals where these agents are charging 30%, 20%. And it's something Phil brings up. Because there's no union, there's nothing to protect these players. There's nothing to protect them. So in the NFL, 1%, 2%, 3% is the most you can give of your money. But some of these agents in the NIL, it's crazy.
So we're back to the same problem: no players' association, no union, no collective bargaining, and it's just the wild, wild west. It is what it is, and the players don't know. Okay, don't sign that deal. All they know is somebody told them that's a good agent. But there's better ones. Or there's guys that do a little bit more fair cut. But until we have collective bargaining, and there's a union or a labor, this is going to be wild.
things changed in baseball when the Major League Union brought in the minor league players. They then had representation in a way that they never had before. But, all those players are still signed to contracts with the major league teams. So you can't – I just wonder how there can end up being, an organization that will represent – is it all football players in college? Is it just the players that are playing – in whatever
Power
Super
Five,
League is going to come out
Power
of this?
Four, yeah.
Is it college athletes overall? And it's just such a big thing to think about that I'm not quite sure how it works out. I just know that's the only way it's going to work out. These schools don't want them to be employees because in that case you can think, well, we can still take advantage of them in some cases, keep costs down, but it's
no workers' comp.
They're living in a fantasy world. The schools, if they think that they're going to get through this without these employees actually.
Well, of course they're living in a fantasy world. I mean, that's not there's a lot of things that are broke. I don't see any of them getting fixed. not yet.
Well, and it's also piecemeal. It'll be one little thing at a time that might get fixed. So Paul in Fort Smith had hit on Harris as the only transfer that hurts. I look to where guys are transferring to. I thought Blake Cherry was the sixth lineman they would bring in on big packages. He just transferred to Wisconsin. Now, there may have been something there with Cherry, but we won't find out here. L.J. Prudhomme, interior lineman. I think they liked him. He transferred to Mississippi State. It's like – I'm not telling you that these would have been all SEC offensive linemen, but there's probably something there to work with for these guys.
Yeah, it's depth.
Do you see Grayson Wilson committed to Boston College?
Yeah, there was a connection with the coach there. I think their quarterback coach came from somewhere else that had recruited him, and so there was a connection there. Then certainly there wouldn't be any knowledge of what Boston's like with him probably. Good luck to him. He is a great athlete, and I don't know if quarterback's his spot, but he is a fantastic athlete.
Look at this one. Shaq McCroy is joining Bobby Petrino at North Carolina, the big 6'8", 350-pound tackle that had transferred from Oregon. I think he's the one guy that's joining Petrino from Arkansas in Chapel Hill. That's the one guy. Did he start much? I remember he got a chance and got hurt one play into a game, and that might have been the last that we saw of Shaq McCroy. So again, that was one of those players, and I felt the same way about Ian Traffard at times. Just big bodies, project, and end up being a project for somebody else now.
I watched a practice. I think it was in August, and there were matchups between those two players, two giants. And, I mean, that was worth the watch to see those guys in the collision and, the mass that neither one of them have any quickness. And so that's what kept Shaq McCroy from getting on the field sooner. I mean, I think they were going to play him a little bit and see what he could do, but he gave up some sacks in practice because of lateral quickness. But he's a guy that when you move straight forward, he just kind of swallows you up, kind of like a Sean Andrews.
Kevin Otis committed to they're saying he's going to commit to Ole Miss. So I mean, then again, they're right there. That's somebody that saw minimal playing time at Arkansas, a couple of flashes, but he's signing at a program that has done pretty well at signing Razorbacks and getting production out of them to a point. So, just kind of paying attention to that because there's 34 outgoing transfers. That number might not be 100% accurate because I think that also doesn't count Charlie Collins going into the portal and then coming out of the portal. So, but still, the Hogs right now, I mean, it's like it almost feels like one player every 30 minutes that's getting announced by the football team's social media accounts. And I guess sooner or later it turns into a little bit of a drip, drip, drip. But right now it's the faucet's all the way open.
Yeah, and they may be about half done. I mean, we've got really quite a few more days, and there's still players announcing to visit. And then you've got the teams that are just exiting the playoffs right now. That there's going to be some players that are now moving around. I'm interested to see what happens with the Ole Miss roster because a lot of their offensive coaches have disappeared. And that doesn't mean they'll go to LSU. I'm talking about the offensive players at Ole Miss. But I'm just wondering what's going to happen to their roster. And not because they don't have the money, but there's just times where, all right, new coaches, I'm going to go somewhere where I know where the bed's warmest, where I'm going to definitely be in the picture. And their roster is going to change, and I think that, they're all changing. Miami could win it, and their roster will change.
Hey, you got a weather change going on sometime in the next week. Rowback.com's got what you're looking for to stay warm and still look like a Razorback fan. But if you're worried about looking good during baseball season as well, Rowback.com has everything else that you're looking for. Polos, Q-zips, hoodies as well, and Razorback logos on them. You won't find this stuff anywhere else. Rowback.com. If you use the code RUSH25 at checkout, 20% off your first order. RHOBACK.com. Rowback, where action meets comfort. Back to wrap up hour number 2 in a moment. This is halftime.
I can't hear. I can't hear you guys. I can't hear.
This is halftime.
This is Chuck Fawcett with Chuck Fawcett Realty. When I have an HVAC problem or a plumbing problem, I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. Blaylock Heating and Air.
So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs and great York Home products. It's just one number you need to know. That's 782-8940.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
A friend is someone who knows where you came from, someone who always shows up when you need them, someone who's there for the good times and the challenging ones. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans backed by the team J.D. Power ranked #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region 7 of the last 8 years.
Call Brad Howe in Van Buren or call Ryan Hughes in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as, that's 888-665-0696.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Yes, I am just like I said I would be. I'm your friend, just like you think it should be. If you think I won't stand here and lie while I'm on this way,
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
This would be a non-cryptic post on X from Mark, and one of the returners for defense, Quincy Rhodes. Good thing he's returning too. Quincy tweeted this yesterday. Quote: "We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs. WPS," with a Razorback emoji, unquote. No meows, no cats, only dogs. I know what he means here.
I do.
No meows, that cracks me up.
I told you during the break.
Yeah, I know exactly what it means. Quincy doesn't want any meows. Well, he's got one of his running mates back, though. I like the idea of Charlie Collins returning, Clay. I thought there was something to work with him.
His potential is there. You know, he's got the speed and the quickness. He just doesn't have the bulk. You know, I saw that they brought in an edge guy from Kentucky that has some speed, some quickness. I like that.
But he wasn't on the field until third down at Kentucky.
Yeah, that's okay. He probably needs a little bulk too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a third down rush specialist.
As long as he actually is good at what he's supposed to specialize in. It looked like that guy does. Yeah. Sack Souls, I think, was his nickname.
Yeah, I like the potential there, and I like Charlie Collins, and I think you're going to see Quincy Rhodes make another jump. I think he's just scratching the surface, and I think he probably got a nice little deal. I saw him put something on X of the new car that he was in. It seemed like it came from one of the Fletcher dealerships. There's a surprise, and yeah. He's so long. I mean, I saw a picture of him in the car, and I was like, "Oh, I think I would have got a truck." Is he 6'6"? He's in that neighborhood. I mean, Matt, were there some cars that you just couldn't get into? I mean, your length.
A car you don't fit into, Matt? Any
Corvette.
of them? Corvette. Nobody's ripping the front seat out of that.
I had a 650 BMW when I was at Jacksonville. One of my buddies had a Corvette, and he's like, "You want to drive my car, and I'll drive your car?" I was like, "Sure." And I went to get in his car, and it was like, I can get one leg in your car.
It's like a pretzel.
Can't drive.
Yeah.
I'm driving a rental right now because my Accord got dinged, so I'm in a little Nissan Sentra. Matt, I don't think you'd fit in this thing. Pretty sure I barely fit in it.
My grandmother had a Toyota Corolla that when I was in high school, she'd let me drive it someplace. Yeah, and I was just knees and elbows right there.
Most uncomfortable car I've ever sat in my entire life. Yeah, Matt, you have your knees up in your armpits and your armpits up through your neck. It would be highly uncomfortable. Yeah, we're reminded from Chris in Springdale that Shaq McCroy, now a North Carolina Tar Heel, scored a big man touchdown. That was one. That was the one highlight for Arkansas. Wasn't that in the Notre Dame game?
It was, yep.
That was the one highlight of the
singular
Notre Dame
event.
Now he'll be scoring big man touchdowns once a year for Bill Belichick. All right, hour number 3 of halftime is on the way. Brett Dolan joins us in about 20 minutes. Otherwise, wide open for the golden hour at 877-377-6963. Stay with us. Halftime is back in a moment.
Start the year strong with New Holland 300 Series compact track loaders from WT Equipment. Enjoy outstanding comfort, class-leading visibility, and best-in-class boom geometry for exceptional lift and reach. With fuel-efficient models from 60 to 90 horsepower and a wide range of attachments, the 300 Series CTLs are ready for whatever the job and the year throws at you. See the New Holland 300 Series compact track loaders today at WT Equipment in Springdale. WT Equipment. Equip your future, elevate your potential.
Since 1967, one name has defined performance in the River Valley. Wheeler Power Sports, the 9th oldest Kawasaki dealer in the country. Right now, the future has arrived. Come witness the 250 horsepower Kawasaki Teryx Supercharged H2. It's a game changer. With over 300 vehicles in stock, we've got your Ninjas, your Gixxers, and the full Polaris lineup. From Razors to the Ranger XD 1500. Financing is available with approved credit. We also buy used bikes. Text or swing by for a quote today. Wheeler Power Sports in historic downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You know what's underrated? Having choices. Like, imagine not being able to choose your Deluxe Cravings box at Taco Bell. Imagine you couldn't get a box of classics for $5, or Faves for $7, or a lavish feast for $9. Now with cheesy dipping burritos and creamy garlic sauce. Good thing all those choices are, like, actually real. So instead, imagine which you're gonna get. Choose your Deluxe Cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Looking for a career with a company built to last? At Forsgren, we've been shaping the future of the River Valley since 1936. Nearly 90 years of excellence, innovation, and family-driven leadership. From sidewalks that still stand today to major infrastructure projects across the region, our legacy is built on quality and community. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Join the Forsgren legacy, where your work becomes part of something lasting. Forsgren, building the foundation of the River Valley for 4 generations. Apply now at goforsgren.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Today, increase in the sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 50s, north mid 60s south. Chance of seeing a little scattered rain tonight, an overnight low in the upper 30s to low 40s. Sunny skies on Saturday, a high upper 40s to low 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for wine, specialty beers, and liquor. Located at 12100 Highway 71 South in Fort Smith. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that could respect it.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
But they were one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back on Halftime into our third hour. It's 1:01 in the afternoon, and this is Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson along with Matt Jones. Christian Johnston producing. Hall of Famer Clay Henry also with us on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. And Brett Dolan coming up in about 15 minutes. So get a load of this here, Matt. It's arbitration season for Major League Baseball, and there's not a lot going on in terms of signing. The best pitcher in the game, now I'm a Pirates fan. Paul Skeens should be on that list, but the best pitcher right now is Tarik Skubal, back-to-back American League Cy Young Awards. And he's in arbitration with the Tigers. Back-to-back Cy Young Awards. The Tigers have offered $19 million. Skubal is asking for $32 million. So you're talking about a $13 million difference between the two sides. And yet the record for a pitcher in arbitration, and this happened 11 years ago, David Price got $19.75 million. And I'm here to tell you, Tarik Skubal's going to get what he wants. If the Tigers think they can go to arbitration, and what you got to do is you got to basically trash the player in some way. You got to like knock down his performance somehow. This is the Cy Young Award winner 2 years in a row. I think he's going to get what he wants.
You know, quarterbacks, I've seen some running backs. This is 20 years ago, but quarterbacks now, they're getting about $1 million a game. If you're a good quarterback in the NFL, I think that's about the rate for a pitcher. So you get about a pitcher starts 30 games a year? Is that what's the number?
Skubal started 31 the last 2 years.
So he's getting $500,000 per start, and he wants $1 million per start. That's kind of what it looks like he wants. He wants $1 million a start.
Man, they better do what he wants, because without Tarek Skubal, that team is.
But you're going to give him $500,000 a start, right? Like I don't know if he gets to $1 million, but that's the rate they're going. You're going to give him $500,000 per start.
Anyway, I just always am interested by what these teams offer, because sometimes it's a little bit of a gulf, and you're fighting over $2 to $3 million a year. They're fighting over $13 million a year, and I think I'll root for the player.
That Washington Husky quarterback's getting $250,000 per start next year. That's to put it in perspective. The college quarterback. That's why I'm telling these kids, stay in college as long as you can and make that money a little bit easier. So much easier on your body. You play on it. It's not as violent. It's not as physical. And 9 times out of 10, when you're making that type of money in college, you are on the better team. So you don't have to worry about it as much. You get to go out there and compete and have fun.
Man, I know they've added a game since you retired in the NFL. How many games were you playing per year? Counting,
you got 4 preseason games, 16 regular season games, and then I had 3 total playoff games in my 4 years, so 21 games a year.
Yeah, so the difference is unbelievable. And plus, you guys had,
and we didn't play Eastern Carolina State and Louisiana Lafayette.
No jamborees.
Yeah, you got to go play the Baltimore Ravens,
the Steelers. Yeah, or the Ravens or the Colts. Y'all were in that division with the Colts, weren't you?
Titans, Colts, and Texans.
Hey, did you see the guy, Tom Moore, who was the OC for the Colts all those years, and I think he had a coaching career of over 60 years, announced his retirement yesterday. He was the Steelers' offensive coordinator in the 80s. He was Manning's offensive coordinator for all their, most of the great seasons in Indianapolis, and he was just an offensive analyst in Tampa Bay. He's in his 80s, and he's just retiring now.
He said, how come none of the backups get to play when he was coaching Peyton Manning? He goes, well, if 18 gets hurt, then we're
dead in the water anyway.
Yes.
That's why he doesn't get to practice.
Yeah. Same thing in college, when you lose your starter, very seldom there's going to be, it's like Miami and Ole Miss. They didn't have anybody like Carson Beck or Trinidad Chambliss sitting over there. I mean, maybe Austin Simmons might be a little bit like that.
We'll find out next year at Missouri, won't we?
Yeah, we will. Yeah. I mean, boy, they were pretty sure they had the right guy on the field against Arkansas. He played a little bit against Kentucky. Simmons got hurt. They didn't have any doubt that, okay, we're going to go to this guy.
I watched Chambliss, and I didn't think this watching him when he beat Arkansas. When I watched that game up close, I thought, I don't know if Simmons is going to get onto the field again. When I watch Chambliss now in these playoff games, this is a really good quarterback. I mean, I don't know if his size necessarily will translate next level. I think he's got the arm strength, maybe. But it looks like a guy that can play at the next. It's amazing to think about the difference in 1 year. A year ago, the only people that knew who Trinidad Chambliss were coaches looking in the transfer portal and fans of Division II football. Meanwhile, Carson Beck was getting his arm fixed, was getting his elbow fixed in the way that cost a pitcher an entire season. And now the both of them, I don't know what Chambliss. I think Chambliss plans on going back to Ole Miss. He's not going to test the draft now, but I think in the future, I'm interested in him. And what has Carson Beck done for his draft status? Because he went from potential #1 overall pick to, oh my gosh, this guy's career is over, to playing for a national championship, and he's back on the draft radar again.
I don't think he's a first rounder. I'll say that. I don't think Carson Beck goes in the first round. But go ahead, Clay.
He's better than some quarterbacks that I see on Sunday. He's better than some of them.
He does have some,
and he's better than some backups.
Yeah,
I mean he'll make a roster.
100%, he's going to make a roster. 100%.
Well, so it's also like a Ty Simpson, right? Simpson is going into the draft. He said he's going to the draft. His dad's a coach. They've gotten all the right. They've heard all the right things from scouts. They're guaranteeing he's a first-round pick. But if you're not a first-round pick, if you don't get that sort of feedback from the people you're talking to, and you're a quarterback, an established college quarterback, wouldn't you be crazy to stay in the draft?
Well, you make more money and half of it's tax-free if you stay in college football. I mean, it's just when you start putting the pros and the cons, and so what does everybody say? Well, we want to get to that second contract. Well, hang on. If you're not good enough yet, you're not going to make it to that second contract. You got to play 4 years to be.
It's got to be a no-brainer. Exactly. It's got to be a no-brainer, and it's Carson Beck is a no-brainer. I mean, he'll be there, but it's like if you're not, and if you're Ty Simpson, I can get it because he played on a flawed team. They could not run the ball, and he was always a target. You line up and rushed him, and that's what – they just knocked him out of the game, Indiana did, because they didn't fear their running game. And that's the one thing that I keep watching Alabama is like Kalen DeBoer is can he get it done there? You can't play that style of football if you're Alabama where you don't have a running game.
Ooh, wow! If what Gavin just told me is true on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, I'm surprised. I'll have to double check on this, but he says that the Chambliss waiver was denied. I didn't think that would happen.
No, I didn't either. And
yeah, he's been denied his 6th year of eligibility by the NCAA.
We'll see what a judge somewhere says.
Well, Carson Beck got 6 years. Wasn't this his 6th year? Carson Beck's 6th year? Was it his 5th year? I thought it seemed like last night the announcer was like 6-year Carson Beck.
There might still be the COVID year for Beck. I don't know if there was an injury thrown in there. And with Chambliss, I think this was built on the idea of just the time at Division II should have led to an added year of eligibility for Division I. So I didn't get into all the parts of the case, but
he redshirted the first year and was hurt the second year. That's the basis of the case, is that he's only played 3 years.
Here it says he sought a retroactive redshirt for a medical issue at Ferris State. So that's what's been denied, is the medical redshirt.
Yeah, because he had a red shirt. He didn't play as a true freshman, and then he was hurt as a true sophomore. And that's the basis of it. And I would say this isn't over. Tom Mars is his lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good.
There's going to be
there'll be another level to this.
Okay. Well, that's just part of the story on the way to actually figuring out if Chambliss will be the quarterback at Ole Miss next year or not. Meanwhile, I'm sure they're going to go get somebody because they lost Simmons. I don't know what Ole Miss's portal looks like at the moment, but there's going to be a quarterback on the way in. All right, we'll break on halftime, and want to remind you about Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where they've been doing it for 75 years and counting, helping our listening audience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas find the absolute best RV for your adventures. They'll help you purchase that perfect RV. There's personalized financing. Anything happens to your vehicle, top-of-the-line parts and service department right there at the junction of I-40 and I-49. Crabtree RV, making your dreams come true, online at crabtreerv.com. We'll visit with Brett Dolan in a moment here on Halftime.
Call or text 877-3777. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got coffee.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tender love and care makes life worth living. Tender love and care, that's what I'll be given. Every day, every night to you.
They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we put it inside burritos and tacos anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell, a brand new classic.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
Football playoffs are here, and MyBookie is where you turn bets into bankroll. Everybody's betting. The NFL is in full do-or-die mode, college football down to the last teams, and the Super Bowl is just around the corner. If there was ever a time to get in the game, it's right now, and MyBookie makes it stupid easy to play. One account, one wallet. Bet the spread, live bet the second half, hit the casino during commercials. It's all in one place, and you've got the power. Go to MyBookie.ag now, use promo code HOGS, and get your first bet covered up to $500. If it doesn't hit, use your Get Back bonus token and run it back. Don't just watch the playoffs, make them pay. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Only at MyBookie.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Another penny again. Shame. Another heart again. Shame. 24 carats for the again. Let's get body home. Let's get body home. It's all the glitters is gold, so you glitter your phone and your money don't fold.
Make sure to follow Halftime on X at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Since 1946, no pressure, no hassle, just tradition. The celebration starts now. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
He is with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline on a Friday afternoon, 24 hours after it wasn't going to work yesterday. So we got Brett Dolan with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Brett, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, I've missed our visits these last couple of weeks. It hasn't been the same without you two guys. And Phil, congratulations as well on your Sportscaster of the Year award. Well-deserved, well-earned.
Much appreciated, Brett. Thank you. Hey, saw you last night at the Arkansas basketball game against South Carolina. Did you stick around to see the crowd that gathered just to get a look at Dawn Staley afterwards? That's the John Calipari treatment. It's really something to see.
It is, and I think you're exactly right. And I stuck around for a little bit because I was right there at the scorer's table or the TV table when all the fans were kind of gathering, waiting on her. And I know one thing Z and I said to each other after the first media timeout, it felt a little different in that building last night, and there were a lot of South Carolina fans or just women's basketball fans. It gave it some juice, and obviously there's some star treatment when they roll in. And I got a chance to visit with Coach a little bit earlier in the day during shoot-around, and she's a fun woman to talk to, and obviously has accomplished a lot. But it was interesting last night with the Gamecocks in town.
Yeah, it was. It feels different than when anybody else comes in, and that includes LSU, just because of the length of time that Dawn's been running that program. So how much of the Fiesta Bowl did you get to watch? I watched the second half. It's like that's really all you needed to watch anyway.
I did, and I would love to go back and watch that first half, and I may. You know, Trinidad Chambliss has just been amazing to watch, and Miami's been a good story, and I probably would have picked Ole Miss if I was put on the spot yesterday, and they were in position to win the game. And boy, the Hurricanes had just enough third down conversions to keep that last drive going, and Ole Miss put on a clinic on how to almost score from their own 25-yard line with 18 seconds left, and came pretty close. But what a great finish! What a great game.
Chambliss was a 0-star coming out of high school, and kind of leading into my question. Oregon, 8 5-stars, plethora of 4 stars. Indiana, 0 5-stars, but maybe has the best defense, best quarterback. I have Oregon in this one. I know it's a rematch, Brett, but who do you got?
I do too, Matt, and I'm a little bit tentative because of the running back who's out for Oregon, and because Moore, who's been really good most of the year, was really terrible in that Indiana game, and he was under pressure. I understand that. You know, I think a lot of these people look at these quarterbacks, and sometimes that defines who we want to pick, and Mendoza has been a great story. I don't know if he's been a great quarterback. I can see that he's on the best team in the country now, and he won the Heisman. He was kind of the last man standing. I think a lot of evaluators might think Moore is a better quarterback, but my goodness, he did not play better against Indiana in that defense last time out. I'm really curious to see if he could have a much better game in round 2, but to do that, they have to give him a better chance to complete passes. He was just under too much pressure. But I do worry about a running back with, 15 touchdowns or whatever that turned out to be, not being able to play for Oregon.
What else to hit on here, Brett? We've done both playoff games here. We did a little bit of the women's basketball game. You'd mentioned there's all this stuff to talk about. Oh, Darius Acuff. I haven't had this much fun watching an Arkansas men's basketball player in a long time. And we're going to enjoy watching him while he's here, but it's only going to be one season. Is this team been as good as advertised right now? And I don't think there's a better team in the SEC.
I think you might be right. I'm curious to see Vanderbilt. I don't know if they kind of are the Indiana football of the SEC basketball ranks, as far as maybe not as much individual talent, but obviously they've had good success. It's been fun to watch. And the one thing I got to do yesterday, Phil, with our baseball team is sit down and interview about 12 or 14 guys. For some, it was the first time I ever talked to them, get to know them. Well, we did the same for men's basketball about a month before the season. When I sat down with Acuff, I came out of that room and I'm like, I can't wait to see this guy play. There's something about whether it's his confidence or he felt like he was, 25 years old instead of 18. And I know he had to go away from home for a year and for a couple of years and not play high school basketball in Michigan. So he kind of started his college, if you will, a little bit early, and maybe that's part of the maturity. But my goodness, is he fun to watch for so many different reasons. And I don't know what March will look like when you get down to 16 teams, if Arkansas is there, 8 teams, whatever that looks like. But Acuff has got to be right in the middle for Arkansas to continue to have that chance to get where they want to go.
Brett, do you remember watching Anthony Black play? It's like so easy we forget. We just had one of the best point guards in Arkansas history. He was a freshman, and he was a 6th overall pick to the Orlando Magic, led his team, did his thing. But they're totally different point guards. Like when you look at Acuff and you look at Black, they're built different, But I guess what I'm trying to ask is, what did both of those guys do that's kind of similar? What do they do that it's like they both carry themselves well? You both have confidence. They both make their other players better. The bigger the moment, the bigger they play. How do you compare him to some of the other guards?
No, I think you hit on a lot of that. I think there's a conviction. I think there's a confidence that both of those guys had. I always felt like Anthony was so comfortable, he was able to get under other people's skin and have that affect them while he was kind of laughing at them and doing his thing, and that was a little bit unique for a young kid. I think Darius is very serious. He's kind of the Ryder Helfrich of the basketball team. He's just serious. He just knows what he wants, and he knows how to get it done. And the one thing I think about Acuff, though, I feel like he's a better scorer. He's a better shooter, better scorer. And the one thing Cal told him early in the year is taking hold, as far as maybe not taking as many bad shots and getting your teammates involved. Those assist numbers have been good. His assist-to-turnover ratio is really good. Now, he's not as big as Anthony, and I don't know, sometime down the road, and I shouldn't say big, he's strong, but he's not 6'4", 6'5". He's, 6'1", whatever that is. He's not quite as tall as some of the other guards that we see in the NBA, but he does everything else really, really well.
He never seems to be sped up, It's just there's a control that he plays under, and I'm going to try to explain how does somebody have that much, control over himself in pressure moments when we all know who's going to have the ball, and you got older players in front of you that have been in some of those moments more often than you have. I think about the same idea of a young hitter in baseball who just has this innate knowledge of the strike zone and never gets himself out. It's that's how I feel watching Acuff playing at the end of a basketball game. The pressure doesn't get to him. In fact, that's when he's his best. It's like watching a hitter, Brett, that's just they don't ever mind getting to 2 strikes, because on 2 strikes they feel pretty comfortable that they're going to do what they need to do. And it's just, you can't explain it away. Sometimes some guys just have it. I think that's Acuff.
Well, let me try to explain it, because one of the other things Darius told me in this preseason interview is how his dad played him up for years. And it wasn't just up a year. It was 2 or 3 years. So I'm guessing when he's 10, he's playing with 12-year-olds. He's 12, he's playing with 15-year-olds. And then he gave me the money line. He said, we've been preparing for this that entire time. So in other words, when you're the 18-year-old, you're comfortable playing with 20, 21-year-olds, competing against them and with them and having success. And I thought, there's a lot of dads and a lot of families that try to kind of create the vision for their son, but it really seemed like this worked out because he is so comfortable and confident. And if he goes to the NBA after a year, it's going to be starting all over again, playing with older guys. But I think this has been the plan, not just for a few years. I think this has been the family plan for 8, 9, 10 years.
Well, I'm going to continue on with some Arkansas basketball. We're going to take on an 0-2 Auburn, and Phil was telling me that I think Auburn's favored in this game. Is that right, Phil?
1.5 when I last saw.
Kind of seems iffy, but Vegas doesn't build the buildings any smaller out there. That's for sure, and it's tough to win on the road. And I'm thinking that the Hawks can go 8-1 at home. Maybe they go 9-0. This team's real. I don't know any team that's going to come into Bud Walton and beat this team. But what can they go on the road in their 9 games? Do you think this team can go 6-3 in the SEC on the road, or do you think more 4-5 is reasonable?
I think if you're north of 500 on the road, I think that's fine. I won't say it's not out of the realm of possibility, Matt. I mean, the one thing we talk about, we know the SEC is good, but maybe not quite as good as last year. This game is interesting to me, and I think that betting line that you mentioned says that, because that Ole Miss game was like the atmosphere was like playing an American Conference team. The students weren't there. The fans were ready for the football game. It was just kind of there. It didn't have that rabid atmosphere. Maybe that'll be that Auburn this weekend. I hate to buy into the argument, well, this team will be angry or ready to play or whatnot, but that was a demoralizing kick in the tail for Auburn the other day, to think they had won on a half-court shot, then they lose. And that win, they felt like it was taken away from him. I think it was the right call. I think the ball was still in his hands. But now you got to go in there and play a team that I would imagine is going to be motivated to play. I don't know if Ole Miss was motivated to play in that lackluster atmosphere the other day. So it'll be a test. It'll be a good test for Arkansas. I think they're clearly a better team than Auburn. But as you mentioned, I don't know when you go on the road if you've got to beat a team. You aren't going to have a game handed to you. You've got to go out and win it. And I want to see if they can do it.
Dave Van Horn had a presser this morning. I know you were watching it. I watched it about 35, 40 minutes worth. Had a couple of questions to ask him. A thing that you're going into this season, I think this pitching staff, Brett, has an opportunity to have two aces. Now, there's no guarantee that either one of them rises to that level. I mean, you had a chance for that last year, true, with Zach Root and Gage Wood, and, Wood ended up hurt for a good chunk of the season. By the time you got to Omaha, I think you did have two aces. Hunter Dietz, Gabe Gackle, one righty in Gackle, who's kind of bounced back and forth rotation and bullpen dominant as a reliever, never looked comfortable as a starter. Dietz is just a matter of injuries, and he's healthy. These, to me, I don't know how to look at them, because I usually go into a season, Brett, saying there's a bunch of ifs, if this happens, if that happens. I want to feel about Gabe and Hunter that they're not ifs, that they're whens, because the talent's there. It's just we haven't seen it as starting pitchers yet.
We have not, and the Dietz is a big one. And for me, yesterday was the first real chance I've had to talk to him, and I really enjoyed it. What I took out of his conversation was he's ready. These 2 years have been a little bit bizarre as far as not being able to be on the field and be able to pitch. And sometimes you ask a guy who hasn't been on the field, what do you want to do? And the answer normally is whatever I can do, whatever I can, contribute in long relief. And he goes, no, I want to start. I'm ready. And Dave said that today. It's his time if he's healthy. But the way he talked to me yesterday about how he's kind of changed his entire repertoire, his pitch shaping, I mean, he's tried to make the most out of this to where he feels like his arsenal's even better than it was when he was an elite 18-year-old, even though he hasn't been on the mound. So, if he can build up, if he can just get off to a pretty good start and not feel that pressure and stay healthy, I can't wait to see what happens because, DVH doesn't go into glaring details about youngsters, but he did in that first fall. He was really excited about what Dietz offered. We just haven't seen it on the field or on the mound, but I certainly hope we get the full show, so to speak, this spring.
Yeah. So one thing, it's funny, too, with Dave, because he'll give you the little nuggets without even asking the question about, do you remember when he said today, says, it doesn't sound to me like anybody hit the slider in fall ball. So it's going to be a focus is hitting that slider, or at least laying off of it. So at least right now, as one aspect, I can't imagine that they have a lineup that produces like last year. It was such a complete 1 through 9 lineup. But then again, with the talent acquisition, how good they've been at this, that in order for them to be really good 1 through 9, though, Brett, they're going to have to be better at the slider, it sounds.
Well, they're just going to have to be, better than they probably were in the fall. And I think the one thing this program has done is player development. And Dave touched on that today. And by the way, I don't get any more from any coach that I talk to than Dave. If I talk to him for 30 minutes, it feels like I've spent 2 days with him because he's telling me something and he's giving me information. But, last year we knew Davalon might be a pretty good player. We didn't know he'd be that good. We knew Zach Root would probably be a pretty good pitcher. He exceeded that. And Vahiva Aloy had a better year and won the Golden Spikes than he did the year before. I think you need that similar improvement. And Dave touched on it today. He goes, I like our team. I like where we're at. We just have to keep getting better. And this program and this staff have done that. And I think to be a top 5, top 8, top 10 team, they're going to just need similar development. It doesn't happen every single year for whatever reason. But my goodness, this program has done it a lot more often than not over the last decade.
Brett, we have run the gamut over these last 12 minutes and change. Unless you got to take on hockey or I don't know what else would be going on. So I guess we could leave it there, okay?
We just have to keep enjoying this college football. This sport is upside down, right? And we got quarterbacks who no one wanted out of college. We have teams that were the losingest teams that are now the winningest teams. And we have coaches that came from the Saban tree. Everything seems like it's upside down. So I hope these next 2 games we get some good ones to finish out the college year.
Okay, so by the time we talk to you next, it'll be still in the lead-up to the championship game, and I'm going to need to see if Gino Toretta's head has not exploded yet. Brett, of course, does play-by-play for Gino's Touchdown Radio Network, with Gino as the color commentator most of the time. And didn't he have 3 Miami games on your schedule? Obviously, it was not just because he loves the Hurricanes.
Well, my sideline guy is Casey Jones, who was Mario Cristobal's kind of project. Mario mentored him, so he's even closer to Mario than Gino is, even though Mario was Gino's center. And then Casey went on to be the center for Elway's 2 Super Bowl teams with the Denver Broncos. And I'm sharing a lot of text with these guys. I told him Mario looked like a ranting, raving lunatic on the sideline yesterday, but he got the win, and he's going home to play in the championship game.
All right, Brett. Thanks a lot, man. We'll talk next week. Thanks as always.
You got it, guys.
Thank you very much. That is the thing. Cristobal just looks like he can't enjoy very much. I don't know what it is, but then again, what was it, Matt? 20 seconds left in the game. Guy comes over, wants to celebrate with him. It's like, get the F away from me.
That was the best part of it. He's like, bro, the game's not over yet, but there was a coach giving him a backside bear hug, and he's like, please don't. We don't need that Shane Beamer thing happening where at halftime he's celebrating like raise the roof. Like, hold up, there's still some more golf left.
Meanwhile, Michael Irvin's a little farther down the sideline, removing his belt and getting ready for another celebration.
How do you think that conversation went? Because my brain went to, he's not going to do that again, right? They told him, they said, Mike, quit. Okay, have a great time, support the team, but don't draw attention to yourself. And Mike's like, what do you mean?
It isn't about me? What? It isn't about me? I thought it was all about me. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Clay Henry rejoins us. We're into the home stretch and back right after the break.
We don't need a bunch of cats in here. Looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog.
This is halftime.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Arkansas fans, get fired up at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for Tex-Mex and Arkansas game day. Catch Arkansas basketball games live on our big TV screens. And when you wear your Arkansas gear, score half-price apps and cheap taps. Enjoy complimentary chips and homemade salsa, fresh and made from scratch every day. Don't miss Joe's Mexican-inspired daily specials, fast, friendly service, and the best game day fun in town. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Has your spouse suddenly entered the transfer portal, going from a franchise player to a prima donna ready to take the money and run? Don't let her get away with a huge buyout. Be proactive and call Mock Legal Solutions today to ask about custody, alimony, and child support. 479-769-1505. Because even in divorce, the best offense is a good defense. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
I think we should start seeing other people.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Too much on your list this season? Get 50% off your first 6 months of payroll at gusto.com/radio.
Gusto saves you 2 days every month on payroll, taxes, and compliance. So you can go from making payroll to making gingerbread houses, checking your books to decking the halls, spreadsheets to snow angels. Switch before the end of the year and there's no need to transfer payroll history. Now that's a reason to be merry. Choose a future with Gusto and get more time for what matters. For a limited time, get 50% off your first 6 months at gusto.com/radio.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their ham-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Would you like to look out? Sometimes I'm just with my friends online, and there's things they like to change. The next thing you'll find what a shame.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Since 1946, no pressure, no hassle, just tradition. The celebration starts now. Now let's get back to Halftime with the voice of Arkansas Razorback Baseball, Phil Elson, and Arkansas football legend Matt Jones.
Matt Jones has a little music trivia for us here on the Lewis Auto on our well, it's not the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. It is during the golden hour here of halftime. That song you've played a few times before, Matt, but there's some trivia that goes along with it. What is it?
So the guy's name is Matt Healy, the lead singer of the 1975, a British group. They're so cheeky, those Brits. And that was about 2 or 3 boyfriends before Kelsey, which I now they're betrothed. Is that right?
Yeah, they're betrothed to each other.
Yeah, but a couple before Travis Kelsey, that was Taylor Swift's main squeeze.
Wow, this is the music trivia, man. I was unaware of this information.
And I don't know why. I know her favorite number's 13, and I know some of her boyfriends, but I don't know a single one of her songs. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Matt's got he's got the Taylor Swift poster up on the ceiling above his bed. That's
Strawberry Fields Forever.
That's how it works. Oh man, guys, we may have to. And again, this maybe has a little more to do with the numbers than anything else. We may have to get into the idea that the Hogs have done well in the portal so far. They might have actually done pretty well in the transfer portal. But again, it's like I'm going to reserve my judgment until next Friday when the portal closes, but I think they can still sign players after that because there's going to be guys from these teams in the playoff that are getting in too.
So I do look at what team they came from, but then I also look how Clay looks at when Arkansas players leave. You go, well, he didn't do anything for us. So I wonder these guys, because if you're part of a team and you know that kid can play, and I'm on that coaching staff, I'm not going to let that kid go away. You know, like we're not going to let him leave. We're going to make sure we match that offer. So you kind of wonder, are all these kids, are they in it for the money? Are they going to come here and work hard and try to play, or do they know that this is it? Because 2% of college athletes make it to the NFL as far as college football. You know, I don't know, 4%. So chances are these kids aren't. So they know that this is their last stop.
When you look at, they got a good player from Maryland, maybe more than one.
The North Carolina linebacker.
Yep. So, what I was going to get at, Maryland, I'm not sure that they're one of the Big Ten schools paying.
Right.
I mean, I don't think they are. How serious are they? it looks like Arkansas has gotten serious. And that's my take. And also, and I can't say his name. Phil, you'll help me out. We are seeing the effects of the new general manager that is the Portal King.
Crowley.
Yeah, thank you. Can we call him Coach Crowley? He's been a coach before, so that we don't have to say that first name. Just Coach Crowley.
My understanding of him is, and I view him more. Maybe you can titles, whatever. But I think he's like a cap specialist, even though there's not a cap. But there's a certain dollar figure that the football team isn't going to be going over, so he knows what it is he's got to work with. Personnel specialist, cap specialist is how it comes off to me. And I told you, my brother-in-law is the athletic director at Western Michigan. Crowley worked there 1 year, and I was told he did really good things for us. So, and then it was Arizona for 1 year, and now Arkansas. So this guy has moved his way up in this specific part of the industry.
He has a niche
pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I've heard nothing but great things, and I think we'll look back that he had his fingerprints on this class. I mean, even as late as he got here, because he was prepared. Was it Arizona State?
I think it was Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah. One of those two.
I wasn't sure. But he was prepared for what's going on. I mean, his knowledge of the rosters around the country. I mean, and that's what these guys are. They have to be experts at rosters, and what these guys were. And sometimes you don't get your chance, and you're behind somebody, but maybe everybody remembers what you are.
877-377-6963, Lewis Automotive Group hotline. A few other, it's all coming in, still more of them. Cam Settles is returning. Jeremy Evans, a linebacker out of Baylor, has signed with Arkansas. That happened 11:15 in the morning. And Terrence Robertson, who's an offensive tackle out of Ouachita Baptist, has committed to Arkansas too. As I understand, he was a highly sought-after Division II player getting into the portal. So HR guys got questions on thoughts on the Perfect Game team rankings, because the first rankings did come out. It's so difficult for me to have a real opinion about these things. I think I saw Arkansas is 4th in the country, but 3rd in the SEC. LSU number 1, Tennessee number 3, and then Arkansas number 4. It all seems to fit for me, but HR guy, I got to be honest, I haven't done the roster research to know whether or not I think Arkansas should be ahead of the other two. But I like them at 4. I think this is going to be a team that will throw a lot of strikes. There's some big-time arms, and I think it's going to be pretty difficult to score on them. I don't think they'll have the same sort of lineup, offense, run capability as last year, but I'm not sure if you'll see another lineup like that for a while. But I do think it's going to be a really difficult group to score against.
The part that I'm interested to watch, the development, and I think they're going to be all right in center field, and I really like their catcher. And what you also want to see is what's shortstop. I mean, in other words, the team, Dave Van Horn's teams are always strong up the middle, just like a football team. That's you want to be good at catcher, pitcher, shortstop, center field. And I don't know who the shortstop is yet, but I have confidence that Dave will figure out shortstop. I mean, I think
Carson Brumbaugh, who's a freshman, or T.J. Pompey, who transferred in from Texas Tech.
Yeah, and they originally thought Nolan Souza might play there, but they're not going to put that on him. And listening to Dave today, while Souza might be cleared, his role might start off small and then grow. That they want to really nurse that arm, and then the other part that you just don't know is that he's gone a long time without seeing live pitching. And you talked about the slider. I think he had just figured out the slider when he got hurt last year.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. If you don't take live pitching, it takes you a little while to come back. We'll see what happens with Nolan.
He's got all the capability to be the kind of guy that you put in the middle of the lineup and then just let him sit there for a long, long time. But, yeah, it'll be about pitch recognition for him, which I think was a problem before about the halfway point of last season.
It was. Yeah, but it seemed like that was he was starting to put more balls in play, even though some of his line drives were caught. I'm excited to watch this team, and it is so consistently. If they have the right parts, Dave Van Horn can polish and put it all together. And I was listening to Brett talk about the interviews with Dave. Those little sit downs, and I had those during where I was really doing the bulk of the work on the baseball preview, and I would allot 30 minutes, or Dave would allot 30 minutes. He would go 90 minutes every time. So that was interesting to hear Brett talk about how you get to sit with Dave. You're looking for just a smaller snippet for your pregame, right? But you get a little time with him, and you get the details.
Yeah, but I asked the last three questions of the Zoom today, and it's like that took 5 minutes. We could have done 3 hours with Dave Van Horn. We literally could have done 3 hours. So I'm just going to end up sitting in his office with him at some point and just get some unvarnished thoughts sometime soon.
They are unvarnished, yeah.
They are.
Yeah, but I will if you say Dave Van Horn is an unbelievable interview, and there's nobody that compares to him, I'll argue that Matt Hobbs is right there with him. I mean, the interviews that I've had with Matt Hobbs are – Nate Thompson's good too. They haven't had – Dave is really good at giving the assistant coaches confidence to talk to the media and encourage them to do that, as training. Like you're going to be a head coach, you need to start doing these interviews. And maybe – he likes it because if they're doing them, he's not doing them. But Matt Hobbs is as good as how long have I been doing this? Maybe 50 years. And you say baseball, the major sports, all the coaches that I've gotten to interview through the years, Matt Hobbs might be the best interview.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Wrap up the show, wrap up the week. This is Halftime.
Hey, if you go to Arkansas, you're going to win and you're going to play in big games, said nobody. When is the last time Arkansas football played in a big game that meant anything?
This is Halftime.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Lindbergh and the Lindbergh Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours. Or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Out on the course, they're the PGA Tour's best players. But in the arena, they're prime time. And Season 2 of TGL presented by SoFi is back with lights, cameras, action. We're talking big moments, big personalities, big names in the stands, all on the big screen. Big-time matchups with shot clocks, camera drops, timeouts, overtime, and playoffs. It's city versus city, squad versus squad. The sport just hits different under the lights. It's TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Tune into every match. Only on ESPN.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
As far as all my friends can tell, I took her leaving well, that's kind of right. 'Cause when I'm out with them, I don't let her memory ruin the night. For the most part, I'm okay, but I still miss her in a roundabout.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Wrapping up halftime here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com as Clay Henry joins us and Matt Jones. Guys, final thoughts on the game tonight for a chance to play Miami for the national championship?
I love this matchup. It's a rematch, Phil. I'm going to go with as easy as the team that has the least amount of turnovers is going to win this game tonight.
That's going to be Indiana because they just don't turn it over. So I'll make the pick for you and say it's the Hoosiers then.
I would say Indiana is going to win, and I just think they're getting better. And I have to be real honest here that I haven't watched Oregon enough. And the old story about the West Coast teams and playing late, I don't have the energy to watch college football. After I've watched it all day, I don't have the energy to watch 10 to midnight. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Well,
so
you don't have to watch
enough of Oregon.
You be just one time or maybe two times will be enough over the next 10 days or so. And then Arkansas and Auburn tomorrow, 5:00. Hogs still a 1.5-point favorite on BetSaras, and over/under is 170.5. Hey, look, I mean, it's a road game. I think Auburn's got a lot of talent, but I don't know if that's an Auburn team that really knows how to beat good teams. And so I think you're going to have a 2-0 road trip, which is really difficult to pull off.
Is it as easy to say that the only team that can beat Arkansas is Arkansas themselves?
That's what it feels like now. I think so. Compared to the SEC, I mean, there are teams outside this league that you already know can beat you, and
but
they
just
have.
in the SEC, yeah.
Yeah, but in this league, yes, that's exactly the way I look at it.
So usually the way it goes down in the SEC, your bench guys are non-factors on the road. I mean, first of all, they're not starters, and there's a reason why they're not a starter. They're not as good. Your bench guys, when you look at road box scores, the bench guys, it's a lot of 1 point, 2 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 15 minutes, for bench guys. Arkansas's, the 4 guys that they're bringing off the bench are unbelievably good. That's why I think they got great chance to win tomorrow.
Clay, appreciate you hopping on with us on this Friday. Looking forward to next week. Matt Jones, have yourself a great weekend.
Woo!
Same to you,
Thank
Unit,
you.
Christian Johnston, and for everybody out there, thanks for your call. We actually did 5 shows this week. That's the first time in like a month that we've done that. How about it? We made it through 5. Ruskin and Zach coming up in a moment. Eastside Liquor halftime podcast ready to go right now. And for Clay and Matt and the Unit, I'm Phil. Go have yourself a weekend.